going live. All right. Let's get this going here.
So of all those computers you got, you can't have two with, you know, one for one thing and one with good audio for the
Well, you gotta,
podcast?
yeah, you have to understand what I'm doing. I have a production sound card where I can put in a separate left and right input. That specific piece of equipment has to be used when I'm streaming to YouTube because I'm sending a different scanner feed on the left and right channels. It's all configured for that. In order for me to unconfigure it for that and configure it for this just to use the microphone, it's not worth it when I can just take my backup mic and stick it right there and it should be about the same as usual. So
Well, your audio is like 40 to 60% of how good it was Friday night.
because I'm not using the production sound card. If it's that bad, it takes me about 10 minutes to switch things around. I can do it if it needs to be done.
No, it doesn't have to be done. It's just, I just wanted you to know it's that much difference. So
Well,
I'll crank the volume up to 95.
well, let me see if I can maybe fix the levels here. How's that? Is that any better?
Little.
I couldn't tell.
Okay, hold on. Let me try something else here. Let me mute this and mute this and add an audio source. I'm going to add my microphone and I'm going to turn it all the way up as hot as it goes. And then I'm going to switch this feed over to Manicam's. All right, check 1, 2, 3. Is that any better? That
No.
louder?
Oh, that just as you said louder, got louder.
No. So I got to hold it right here by my mouth. That's what I have to do.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
There you go.
It's just
Eat
not as good.
the microphone.
Yeah, it's not as good a mic is what it is. And it's just it's a cheapy mic. It's a $5 mic. And it gets me through when I need to not reconfigure everything because it took us hours earlier to get everything configured for the live stream. So nothing is ever easy.
Okay. Oh, no.
Some people find joy and pleasure in that hardness. I don't.
Well, some things I make look easy that really aren't. And it really bothers some people.
Well, you want to turn me off quick? If I'm having an issue with something for 3 hours and I come to you for help and the first thing you tell me is, oh, I plugged mine right in and it booted right up and everything was fine, I'll generally walk out because I'm not even going to deal with you at that point.
Oh, I know. What I'm talking about is people will come to me with.
I've never, ever once had something just boot up. Never, ever, ever, not one effing time.
Yes.
Have I ever had something boot up.
Mhm.
Everything's a struggle, a fight, something.
Yes.
Everything has to be dragged kicking and screaming.
Yes. You know, the guy that is the creator of Ham Pie, he's made a version that's for a PC called Ham PC. Well,
Yeah.
it's like a 5 megabyte file or something. And he tells you to install it on like a 64 gigabyte thumb drive. I can't even copy the file to the 64 gigabyte thumb drive. It says it doesn't have enough room.
Oh, wow.
And I look at it and I says, you know, it's 64 gigabyte. It's got about 500K worth of stuff on it. I'm going to put a 5 megabyte file on it. It should have like 59 megabytes free. And it says it ain't got enough room.
Wow.
I don't understand. And so I'm telling him that, you know, I don't care how much time you put into it. I can't get it to work. And it could be, something to do with SanDisk. Doesn't know what to do with that file format, how to read how big that file format is. But it's one of those things where you're trying to put Linux
Well, I'll
on.
tell you, the SanDisks sometimes come with stuff already. Some of those discs come with crap already on them, and you got to
Yes.
get rid of it.
Right. That's like, 500K's worth of crap on it.
Yeah.
you know? And then I found two SanDisks the other day. So I had to boot up a computer from a CD after disconnecting my hard drive, boot it up into Linux off of the CD so I could plug those SanDisk in to see how big they were and what's on them, because I didn't want to get like 4,312 viruses and malware installed.
Yeah.
Apparently, that is a thing to put malware on SanDisk and leave them around at college campuses and whatnot, so that you can take over somebody's computer, screw with their homework, make them fail, or plagiarize their homework as yours. And it's like, no, I turned it in first.
Okay, I just put a picture up on there. That looks good. That all looks good. I really think I might want to. No, I'll worry about it. All right, so that's all working. Okay. Oh. All right, guys, about 6 minutes and we're going to get started.
All right.
Oh my God.
Hey, I expected more people than 4 of us, and you're one of the 4.
I
Yeah.
know.
Well, it's still a few minutes to go. Joseph will come.
It's all right. You know what? It is what it is.
And you're on YouTube on top of that.
Yeah, we got that going over here.
I've only done the YouTube thing once. I was like after I went to bed and I didn't fall asleep like I thought I was, so I turned on the tablet and found where y'all were at.
Yeah. It works.
Yeah, it worked like Simon X.
Mm.
Oh, that's
No, we'll put
bad.
you right to sleep.
I was tired already, but I thought I was going to fall asleep, as soon as I went in there, but it didn't happen.
Sometimes I have a hard time getting to sleep, and I've got one of those newer weather radios right next to my bed. And of course, you've got the weather robot here talking continually. I'll turn that on. That'll put me to sleep.
Oh my God. I'd wake up thinking I was Dorothy or something. I don't
Well,
know if I want that or not.
I had the IRS tax code for 501c3s. I would use that. Boy,
There you go.
that was like the whole case of Summon X. That wasn't like a bottle. of
I'd
it.
give you a case of nightmares.
I was going to say that'll be nightmares.
No.
I got to figure out a way to capture that without it looking so concaved.
Does Manicams have a like a
A
lens
non-concaver.
distortion? No, does it have like a lens distortion compensation filter or something?
I don't believe so. No.
Then you're going to be.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but
The only other option would be to record it from a further away distance and then zoom in. Because it's a fisheye lens is what's causing the problem.
right. Oh. Yeah, I guess it does have a bit of a fisheye lens on it.
Why?
Which thing are you talking about that you don't like the effect?
The lower
Screen-
right corner of my screen is my new weather station that I just installed today.
Oh,
And there's no way to feed the data directly to the, well, you can feed the data directly to the computer, but the graphical representation leaves a lot to be desired. Where I like the representation I get off of the actual unit here. I'm gonna work on, I want to share that on some different services and stuff. I gotta get all that figured out.
well, I saw where somebody up in North Georgia put up a weather station, and it, you know, he had it to where it was broadcasting all that stuff through the internet. And after you went to his, you could find all the others. So you can just click from one to the next, to the next, to the next.
Yep.
And, you zoom out and you can see which way the winds were blowing and give you one of those maps, kind of like what you get from the weatherman that shows all those little tails showing you which way the winds are
Oh,
blowing in
yeah.
certain parts of town.
The wind barbs, they call them, yeah.
And by the way, go Dolphins.
What's a dolphin? Is that a football team?
That is
Basketball.
Did they just win?
3-0.
When did that end?
Before 4 o'clock.
Oh, did it? All right, let's see.
That should give you some kind of clue what kind of sports person I am. If I can't tell if it's a football or a basketball or I knew it wasn't baseball. Nobody would have a Dolphin baseball team.
No,
They have a Marlins. Miami
That sounds like a
Marlins.
bowling team.
No.
all right, we're gonna give it just a few more minutes for people to come in. All right, okay, just leave that alone. All right,
It's up to 60 miles an hour.
You know, there's a saying that if Jim Cantori shows up in your town, you better leave quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's in Clearwater.
yep. He knows. All right, let's get going here. All right, we're gonna, there's still some people coming in, but we're gonna go ahead and go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is a special Hurricane Ian edition of the Southwest Florida TechNet. Good evening, everybody. I'm Hurricane Ian. Not the one that's in the Caribbean. I'm the one that's here at the console. But anyway, we're going to be talking tonight about my namesake out there and what he's wanting to do. And, you know, up until now, this storm has been a real pickle to forecast in one way, but not in another. You know what's so interesting? What I found to be so very interesting about this storm, it actually, the models 6 days ago were correct. I mean, as correct as you can be. They've stayed consistent, putting this storm somewhere between Pensacola and Miami for 6 days. Now, as much as we get aggravated with the National Hurricane Center and with their weird forecasting this and their stupid Sapper that and Simpson this, and truthfully, it makes sense. I mean, it does. I got to tell you that the neat thing we've been watching with this, though, is the fact that the GFS model this year has not performed well at all. And yet the National Hurricane Center favors that model. And I don't really understand why. We're going to talk about it. I'm not going to get into a discussion between me thinking they're wrong, because we're not going to get into, none of us are right. None of us are wrong. They're scientists. I'm not. So let's leave that there. But what I will say is that the US model has been a piss poor performer this year. It just has been. There's just no way around it. And conversely, the Euro has been a wonderful performer this year. So right now, the Euro is taking this into Bradenton. At least it was a few hours ago, and we're going to run the models again. The latest stuff has just come out. We did just get the drop of the latest. Let me see. I haven't even looked at it yet myself with my own eyes, but this is the 8 p.m. I'll put it up for you guys. And this is from the National Hurricane Center. I'm just going to zoom it in there to what you need to see. There you go.
Actually further off.
Is that working? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Okay. Basically, the cone, we have been right on the edge of this cone now for 3 days, literally right on the edge of it. It's right there, right on the edge of Fort Myers. And the reason for that is because there is a lot of models taking it along this track right here. And so because of that, they've kept us in that. It actually runs right up the Caloosahatchee River. Depending on what map you look at, some exclude North Fort Myers and Bayshore, and some don't. So it doesn't really matter, but the line's right along there. And then of course it's over here near Floribama line there, but not quite. And that's your spread. It's still quite a bit of uncertainty when you think about it out 4.5 days here. That's quite a bit of uncertainty, probably still about 400 miles of uncertainty there. And so you can kind of see why this is still a big concern, guys. And I got to tell you why. All day long for 4 days, 5 days now, the American model has consistently been too far to the left, consistently too far to the left every single time. And in this track of this storm, it's consistently been too far to the left. And what we're seeing is today, it's consistently been too far to the left. The Euro is continuing to pull back to the right. And I think you're going to see in the morning, this line here will continue to come right to keep us in the cone, because it really is going to come closer than you think right here, I think. Here's why I think that, and we'll go through the models real quick. Now, let me flick back to here, and let's do the models. The GFS, the left outlier. Like I said, for some reason, this GFS has been running left. It likes to run left for some reason. So let's run it, see what it does. All right, it comes off of Cuba. Looks like it's not going to miss Cuba. It's going to go over the mountains in Cuba. That's a good thing. Brings it down a little bit. Brings it down maybe a category at the most. You got 959 right there as it comes off of Cuba. That's nothing to argue with. That's a Cat 3 right here. And Cat 3 teasing Cat 4. And then it has it going in, and then the GFS takes it back straight up again. But look how close it gets it to Tampa. This is the GFS. This is the left outlier. Okay. That's why I don't understand why the National Hurricane Center is keeping this thing so far left to Tampa. I think I personally, my feeling is it's going to be real close to Tampa one way or the other. Tampa's ground zero. This is the GFS. It's the left outlier. Now, let's go take a look at the Euro, which has been center line to slightly right. Let's take a look at that. We'll put it in this mode. I prefer this mode here when we get close. Comes over Cuba, just about in the same spot. Not as strong a storm. The GFS has it as a stronger storm. And then this one goes in right about Bradenton, right up the Tampa Bay. It goes right up. Actually, this latest run takes a little bit of a left jog at the end and takes it right up into Tampa Bay. That's, if it stays to the left of Tampa Bay and goes over the peninsula there, that's a worst case scenario.
Don't delete this, please, so I can start the back march. Thanks.
Do what?
Sorry, I meant to be muted.
Oh, no problem. We won't delete it though.
No, the kids have got something playing on the DVR that I wanted to watch, and
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
can't listen to y'all and watch them. And
I know.
So
anyway,
my first time here, been kind of following y'all. Appreciate you doing this. All right,
Oh no, we
back to
appreciate you coming in.
it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming in, and you're welcome anytime. We're normally here on Friday nights. This is our first Sunday night ever. Okay, so but anyway, we're here. This is a very interesting situation right here. If this were to play out right here, worst case scenario for Tampa, St. Petersburg, we could see 15-20 foot waters stack up in Tampa Bay. Let's just hope that's not the scenario for those folks. But that's the Euro. That's the best performing model of the year. Now let's go to the Canadian model, which, believe it or not that bad. I didn't mean that in a slide way, but I just mean that why would the Canadians have a model? Well, they just got hit by a hurricane. Yes, it's a good. I always used to say, why does the Canadians have a hurricane center? Well, they get hit by hurricanes too, folks. Let's see here. This is the Canadian model, which is a pretty good model. And it comes right up here and lingers around for a day and a half offshore, and going to bring up a lot of swales and stuff. And then it shows a little bit of a jog back to the left as it weakens into a tropical storm, and goes up into the Big Bend to the right of Tallahassee. It looks like just to the right of Tallahassee. Anyway, so that's the other model. Now, let's talk serious for just a minute. All right. When we look at these things, all right, there's always this windshield wiper or dog wagging tail effect. They're always going to go to the left for a day, day and a half, and then they're going to go to the right for a day, day and a half. Yesterday, it nudged quite a bit to the left. And I know of 3 friends right now that stopped the moment they saw those new model runs. They stopped all their plans, put everything away, went and bought some beer, and went over to their friend's house. That ended it for them. They saw that, boom, we're good now. And I told him, I said, that does just, just because some of the models move it to the left, even if it goes on the CDC track, or the CDC, even if it goes on the American track, okay, we're still going to get tropical storm wind force gusts here. Not the end of the world. We get that every now and then in afternoon thunderstorms, but so anyway, let's go back and look at this again. And I want to talk about this forecast that we got. Because I think the National Hurricane Center, I want to say something now, and this is my personal opinion, okay? Because I have a lot of respect for the National Hurricane Center, and I like what they do, and I stick up for them a lot. But I also believe there's a little teeny bit of politics mixed into what they do, and I think there's a little bit of human fixing for common sense problems, if you know what I mean. Like, they'll say, well, we're going to move the track to the left just a little because it's too early to panic Tampa. Now, I know that sounds crazy, doesn't it? You're thinking, oh, this guy, they don't do stuff like that. They do. I'm sorry. What we're seeing right now, they should have moved this further. This is my opinion. I am not a forecaster. You guys are not using what I'm telling you tonight for planning purposes, I hope. I urge you not to. But that being said, I don't agree with this. I really believe that we're a little right of this at this point. And I'm not just saying that because we're a little right of this at this point, but I think we're looking at a Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg storm. If I had my gut on it, and I think it's going to be a weakening 3 when it arrives there.
There is a possible steering high pressure current coming from the north down that could possibly affect its track a bit and push it more to the right.
Yeah, hey, this is Jim, KD4 PDY. I'm up here in Atlanta. I just saw where Georgia activated GEMA for the week with the storm coming through. So,
wow.
My
Awesome.
question is, I got 2 points of interest. One being Chipley, just above Panama City, and then I used to live in Savannah. And looking at the rotation, depending on it's going to be on leading or trailing side of it. Because if you go a little bit to the east, like you're talking about, and I agree, but there's got to be something coming down the Appalachian Trail, the mountains coming. Hold on.
There is actually. We've got there's a frontal system that actually looks just like this coming down.
Yeah.
And it's coming down like this, and it at some point is going to meet up with this. And that's why you see this turn back into an H right there, because they're expecting this is such a massive cold front coming down.
Yeah.
The jet stream is going to dip way down. And when that happens, it's going to literally start to wash this storm out. But that being said, Ryan Hall, y'all had a great talk on this today. All that energy still has to go somewhere, and it's going to transition into the storm as it gets up into Georgia. I suggest you go to Ryan Hall, y'all, after you get done here. He's got a great little 20-minute video from about 2:00 this afternoon. There's a link to it on our on the last alert that I just put out. That's probably a good idea because he actually spoke exactly about this energy ending up in Georgia and getting mixed into this storm that's already up there. By the way, I got a cabin in Blairsville, which is way right about there.
Well, but, I've got good friends that sit on Lake Burton in the top right corner, right at Clayton. So right in the top corner of the state.
I know where Clayton is. That's right on 441.
Yeah. Go to Goats on the Roof and you take a left.
Okay. I think I've seen a sign that said that on it.
They've got great fudge.
Oh, wow. Goats on a Roof.
Yeah. But what you're talking about, you've got this coming in and you're going to pick up what's on the east or the west of the Appalachian Ridge. If it goes far enough into the Gulf, then you hit the left of the ridge. Where's that storm coming out of? Is it coming out of the plains, or is it coming down the
it's more of a north-south. It's more of a north-south thing. It actually looks more like that, where your traditional winter ones look more like this.
Well, you've got right where I live is where the Appalachian. I'm at Stone Mountain, actually, outside of Atlanta, east of Atlanta.
Okay. I used to have family in Snellville.
Well, I'm in Lilburn.
Okay.
Which is the backside of Stone Mountain.
I love Stone Mountain.
You need to check in on our turnip truck nets on Saturday nights.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. It's a long-standing thing because that the repeater gets out pretty good. I don't mean to be interrupting what you're saying here, but I was just
no, you're fine. We do this very casually. I'm not a on TV meteorologist. We're just talking about the storm. So this is a very
I've watched y'all,
and we love to meet new hams.
Well, I've watched y'all's stuff, and he was on a while ago. Y'all had a demo going on some stuff. I watched some of your stuff before, and I was like, I like these guys. So I can see y'all's little core group. This is cool.
Yep, it's I don't think Joseph's here, but he'll be here in just a few minutes if he's not
He's
already
here.
here.
He's
Oh, is he here? Yeah, Joseph's my co-host, and then we've got
Joseph,
Rick.
looks like he's often muted. I see the login.
Yeah.
I think he may be the one that has he done a couple of segments on product line.
Not sure. We've talked
Y'all had
about it,
like
but
was talking about. I'd recognize it once I see his face, but
I don't know. We've got like 150 videos. I'm starting.
I've been lurking on y'all for about a while, 6 months.
But we won't hold it against you. We
Okay.
actually like that.
We don't mind.
He's
Yeah.
always the youngest one on here.
Well, y'all, I lived in Savannah, so I was close to Florida. We would do the races and stuff. So when Hurricane Andrew came through, everybody left Savannah and was headed to Florida, not knowing exactly where the storm was going to hit. But it was like, okay, back early 90s.
92.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I responded to Hurricane Andrew with Lee County Emergency Management in my fire department many years ago. And I spent the first 12 days after the storm there. I came back for a week and went back down for a week after that. And then I got involved with doing Christmas for all the kids down there every year for 3 years following that.
Nice.
I have never seen anything like that, guys. Andrew, we come pulling in. I don't want to get into just telling war stories here, but
No.
I was a lieutenant at the fire department at the time, and my chiefs told me I could go, freed me up to go. And because I was a comms specialist with emergency management, and I was one of the 3 guys that set up the 2. We had a bus and a trailer that were like mobile dispatch centers and all that kind of stuff. They still got that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I listened and heard you talking about where you were like by yourself helping out.
Oh yeah, we were down there for a while, and there was a time where I was driving 30 miles down to the South camps down there and just gathering reports of what was going on and radioing them back in. I did that. I did everything. One day I gave tetanus shots all day. 2 days I worked in a MASH unit. One day I worked in the back of an ambulance. 3 days I did logistics.
You were definitely ground zero.
Oh yeah, Florida City.
Yeah.
Florida
Well,
City.
while all that was going on there, I had just recently got my license, was living in Savannah. They Hunter evacuated all of its military over to Hinesville. Then the county and the city took all their ambulances and put them on the runway. All the stuff, because the storm surge, the only high ground is the runway at the airport and right there at River Street. Because a Category 1 in Tybee is completely flooded. Anytime there's a Category 1 storm surge that hits Tybee, Savannah area, the island is cut off from the mainland.
Well, and to get back to that here, we've got a little bit of a concern here. There's a few areas down here in Southwest Florida that about 4 days ago were experiencing sheet flow and flooding and minor flooding. And it's always bad to go into an arriving hurricane already having sheet flow moving through your area. That could be a little scary.
You're on the leeward edge of it and everything's building up.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't live in a very flat place, you probably have never experienced sheet flow, but here the ground is so flat over so long that when it rains, it all just starts moving towards either the river or the Gulf at the same time. And so you end up with water just coming across the land. And when it reaches a private road or something that dams it, it starts to create flooding and rising water, and it becomes a real problem where most people around the country, they deal with water that it lands everywhere and it runs into one part of town and they get flooded. Here, it's more like it builds up everywhere and ends up getting dammed up somewhere, and that's why they get flooded. It's a little bit different situation down here. And we were already having a little bit of that sheet flow, so that's a little scary. But anyway, I do want to move on. Let me go back. I do want to move on. We've already had this graphic up for a little while here, but I want to go back over here and show you guys a few of the other graphics that have come in. It's not looking all that impressive. In fact, it actually lost 5 miles an hour and a little bit of barometric pressure earlier because it was going through not an eye wall regeneration cycle, but what very likely is an eye wall generation cycle, where it seems to be trying to form its first eye wall. And I'll get to that in just a minute when we go to the satellite. This is the estimated time of arrival of tropical storm force winds. So basically, we're looking at Tuesday about dark. We will have tropical storm force winds moving in to Southwest Florida if it's close enough to indeed produce them. And then you can go on up here. Tampa, Tuesday, 8 p.m. That's bad news for Tampa. The last thing you want is a Category 3 hurricane hitting at night. It's something a lot of people don't think about if you've never been through a hurricane. Okay, Irma was during the day. Charlie was during the day. Wilma was during the day. Donna lasted 20 hours,
Yeah.
which means they did about half of that one at night.
Yeah.
That was in 1960. So there's a big difference. It's fine to have flashlights or even be up on generator and have your external lighting working. That's great. But I will tell you something, it's scary when you're in that house and you can't see anything. It's pitch dark outside. You're not up on generator and you have nothing but that flashlight in your hand and you hear your house coming apart around you. It's a scary night.
That's why I like the
During the
Greensburg,
day.
Kansas tornado.
During the day, your house coming apart, you can almost keep it in perspective. Let's do this. Let's move here. Let's work here. But there's something about a nighttime storm that makes it 4 times more scary for people, especially people who are not good at handling emergencies and things like that. So one of the things I always look at being, a retired emergency responder, one of the things I always look at when I look at these storms is it going to be a day or a night storm? Sometimes it's bad when you get a storm that ends right as it's getting dark. That's a bad scenario too. Now the whole town's trashed and you've got 12 hours to figure it out till the sun comes up the next day. So when a storm hits is pretty important. Nighttime tornadoes are among the most frightening things you can ever experience on this earth because you can't see it coming. You hear it. It's tearing up your neighbor's house, but you can't see it. It's scary as hell. And then the lightning strikes and you catch a glimpse of it. I could only imagine. Oh God, I'd love to be a tornado chaser. God, give me money. I need money. Anyway. I need enough money to become a storm chaser. All right. So anyway, that's your estimated time of earliest wind arrival. All right. I want you to notice something else. Let me go to tropical tidbits here. This is it's a number of different models that they've shoved all together here. But I want you to notice something's happened in this last 2 runs. We're starting to get this kick to the right. And when I say kick to the right, does that make you guys think of anything?
Yeah, it means it's gonna come closer to us.
Yeah, it's what Charlie did. I mean, Charlie was literally going up north of Tampa somewhere, and it took a wild right turn. Now, Charlie was up a little closer to the coast like this coming up, but Charlie was actually supposed to kind of come up like this, and then it was going to go in just north of Tampa like that. That was what the forecast was. And when it got right about, and I remember it was moving almost 30 miles an hour. It was a fast moving, very small storm, very unusual storm created by aliens, that unusual. And as you're coming up here, this storm started to slowly deviate. And that's when Jim Reef and Jim Farrell from our 2 big stations here both saw it right about the same time. I'm not going to say who actually saw it first, but as it started to just make this slow right turn, and it did, and it went right up through Punta Gorda like that. It was never picked up by the models really, except there was a few outlier models that showed it doing that, and it did it. Same thing happening here. We now have a number of models, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 models right now, 7 models showing this bizarre right turn right here. You guys see that? There's a bend right there. That scares me. There's something it's seeing in this upper atmosphere here that makes this thing want to bend to the right. This is a Charlie scenario. So all I'm saying is this one can be a little crazy here. What I would suggest is because it's further out and it's a little bigger storm and it's not moving near as fast, you do have 1 extra day to get ready. When Charlie came, it was moving so fast. People were called by their friends and say, dude, put down that beer and get in your bathtub. It's hitting. And they thought it was going up to another place, but it didn't go up to another place. It came down and it hit Punta Gorda. And so a lot of people were not prepared. They weren't boarded. People literally didn't put the boards on their house because the track said it was going to Tampa. Punta Gorda was always in the forecast cone though. So that's a little scary. I mean, it's what it is. But anyway, so this is what I'm looking at is this half of the models see something going on here where there's a fetch that's pulling things to the right here. I don't understand it. That's what I'm worried about. That's why I'm saying I'm not boarding up my house, but I got the boards all cut and I got them laying out and I got things ready to go. I'm like literally on yellow alert. Okay. Because I want to be ready. I do not at this point think we're going to take a direct hit. I think it's a Tampa storm. I really do. If I had to bet my money on something right now, I would bet that it's a Tampa storm. That's what I would bet. Here, this is put out by the Southwest Florida Water Management District. Some of the models here are the same ones, and they're showing that little right turn there.
All right.
This looks like it was made by this graphic made by Commodore 64. Here's the intensity forecasting. I actually believe that if you have intensity forecasting in one hand and nothing in the other hand, you have absolutely nothing. There's really not forecast intensity is kind of crap. It's an indicator, but you can't look at this as a definite. I will mention though, there's a lot of consistency in this. A lot of times on these, they're totally wild, but you got a lot of consistency here. About 75% of your models take it up into Cat 3 or 4 range. That's, so we know it's going to get up there. But again, I don't look too much at these too much. I try not to get, this just gives you an idea that, yeah, it's going to continue to strengthen all the way up through the next 72-hour period. And then it's going to start to wane off. That's basically what I'm looking at there. But I got news. They got like the ship's intensity model, which they use. Even it's not worth the crap sometimes. So it is what it is. There's the GEPS ensemble. I think this, I honestly think that maybe this model has been drinking.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, if you look, that's definitely about a 0.13 blood alcohol level. But anyway,
This
I
is
don't know
your
what.
hurricane model on crack. Any questions?
Yeah, this is your model. This is your model on Coke. Yeah, this is the GFS. This is the American model. And more and more and more of these are coming over to the right. Notice everything to the left here is wild and scraggly. All this stuff on the right is starting to show uniformity. It's starting to show a little more of this. So I don't know. Like I told you, I'm betting on a Tampa storm, and I think that's looking like it's more in the cards. Why they won't put that up, I don't know. Why they keep putting this here and showing, look where they're showing landfall. I mean, if you draw a line between here and here, it's, they're showing landfall like right here.
That's right about
That's
where the guy from Sarnet, Pat, that's about where he lives.
Yeah, he lives, I think he lives up like Madison. Yeah, it's not far from there. Here's the thing. I don't think this is what it's gonna do. This would probably be the best case scenario, because if it went this far north, it's gonna lose 2 categories running into that mess that's coming down. Number 2, if it hits there, that's one of the least densely populated coastal areas in Florida, if not the United
My
States.
niece lives there.
Huh?
I have a niece that lives about there.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is there's not 1 billion people living there like so many other places. The Big Bend area of Florida is actually some of the least populated areas in Florida.
That's
So
actually a place that's of interest to me because I've got a family that's living there. They
Yeah.
live in
Tallahassee
Chipley.
isn't too far from there.
we got a SARNet repeater in Chipley.
Okay.
Yeah, if you went next time you're in Chipley, look up the SARNet repeaters. There's actually a repeater in Chipley.
All right.
Anyway,
What do you have down there for Wires X?
Fusion.
21,805.
Yeah, we've got a Fusion channel, don't we, guys?
Okay.
Yeah, it's if you're on Wires X, it's 21805. And we have our nets Wednesday evenings at 8 o'clock.
I was just thinking of when I was down there visiting, if I brought my FT3 with me, that I'd be able to get into a repeater.
If you're down here, you can just get on the 145.17 repeater.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
that's
just
the same frequency that the one we had here in Stockbridge was.
And just there's it's a dual mode repeater, analog fusion.
Okay.
So
It was just put up on a tall building too, so they got much.
Oh, yeah.
Range.
Our club just got one set up on the internet. So
All right,
it's not
so-
Wires X, but it is Fusion.
I may eventually get into all that. I think we're looking at DMR right now for some stuff that we're doing with the WatchNet.
Yeah.
But, oh God, is Joseph in here?
yes, but I think he's
He's logged on, but he may
Yeah.
just be listening.
No, I just wanted to tell him this thing just did what it's been doing. It just completely reset, and all of my windows reset. I got 7 screens, and all of the windows have reset to different screens now.
Crazy.
So I got to go and find all my windows, figure out where they're at. We're trying to figure out a program or something to fix this, but we're just having a real hard time with it. It just doesn't seem. I don't know, whatever. I can't even find all my screens at this point. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep going. All right. Let me screen capture here. And all right, let's just do this. I'm having a real issue here with this thing. All right, as you guys know, I use a lot of sources. Of course, the National Hurricane Center. Another one of my sources that I like to use is Mike's weather page. This is probably the single best source of hurricane information in one place. And he gets it all from official places, and then he puts it all here for you to see on one screen. This is estimated rainfall. There's your estimated rainfall total map. Let's see what we got here. Holy crap. Looks like Lee County is ranging from 7
7
in
and
Lehigh to about 9.5 along the coast. 9. And then boy, it really gets bad up here. 15 inches, 20 inches right around St. Petersburg. And this is a blend of models, which is what I prefer when we're looking at this stuff. And this is total accumulation through the whole period. So, wow, that's a lot of rain, folks. That's a lot of rain. That's a lot of rain. That's a lot of rain. Okay, let's see what else we got. When you're done with me tonight, you can go right here and watch either here or here. You can watch the brew. It's another show, just very much similar to this one, except he's better at it. And he'll talk to you more about the storm and give you some more professional, but not necessarily official analysis of what he's seeing out there. By the way, he feels like I do, that it's Tampa storm and it's going to go east.
I heard today that it's been since 1921 since Tampa's taken a direct hit.
Yes, and you know something? Tampa is a pretty soft spot.
Yeah, it's almost as vulnerable as New Orleans.
Yeah,
It
they got a
is.
lot
It's
of
a-
floodplains.
Yeah, it's a very soft spot. Okay, so here we go. We've gone through the eye wall. I think this is eye wall generation, and then all of a sudden, here's a new plume popping up. Remember, storms out in the ocean get a little bit of a boost at night. Storms over land get a boost during the day, just because of the dynamics of things. So when we're talking tropical storms, they tend to bloom at night. Remember, we went to bed, Charlie was a 1. We woke up, Charlie was a 4. It happens. Rapid intensification usually happens overnight. And that's because the atmosphere cools and the water becomes warmer than the air. And that helps to lift right along just a little bit. And it gives you that little extra you need to get it going. No, there is a nice little plume of cold cloud tops coming out of the top of this thing, which is interesting to see. Because that's kind of the next thing that needs to happen. Now that we've kind of had the generation of the rotation, the high pressure aloft has to line up with the low pressure below. Once they line up, you create the perfect chimney. At that point, things start to spin faster and faster and faster. And that's where we're at right now. Things are lining up. And now we see this big plume popping out right now after dark, right when we expect this to start picking up. And another thing that's interesting about this storm is how broad it is. It's a huge storm. This is a floater, meaning that the center of it stays where the center of the storm is. That's why you see the land underneath moving. But this is a neat one because you actually are following the storm, not the land. And you can see in this one too, it's creating a plume. But what's interesting about this thing is it's big. Remember when we dealt with Charlie, we dealt with a relatively, that thing was a mini storm, okay? It was very powerful, but it was very small. This thing, the wind field on this thing is huge. I mean, we're talking, a 200-mile wide wind field on this thing, and that's only going to get bigger. When you start looking at this and looking at the amount available, look at all the available energy there is out here. All that available energy, plus it's coming over right now, the warmest waters, some of the warmest waters on the planet, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere, are located right here between Jamaica and the Cayman. That is some of the warmest water you're going to find, almost 90 degrees, and it goes deep down. It's not just right at the surface. It goes deep into the water. And because of that, you've got all this, it's like a battery. It's sitting there with all that available energy. And then at night, when the atmosphere cools, all that energy starts coming up and you start getting this thing making its thing. I got to tell you something. I love the science of these storms because it's literally a machine. It's a machine. And if you put the right kind of fuel and the right kind of oxygen and the spark right at the right time, it makes a wonderful thing. And that's basically what we have here. This thing's a machine. So it's going to keep on going. Doesn't look like much now. I understand that. I get it. And the reason is because it's making itself right now. We're in an eyewall generation. Basically, we're in eyewall generation right now. It's making itself, it's tightening itself. And I think when we wake up in the morning, even in the morning, just 8 hours from now, 10 hours from now, I think you'll see something that looks a lot more like a tropical cyclone out there. So we'll have to see how that goes, but I do believe that's going to be the case. Let's see, let's go back and see what I've missed here. The keys that they've got for this, the first two are about Cuba and the Cayman and all that. But they're talking about flooding on rivers in Florida. Of course, that's a big concern because a lot of Florida's already gotten a lot of rain so far this season. Oh, that was the 685, or that was the 775. Anyway, Ian is expected to become a major hurricane in the eastern Gulf of Mexico during the middle of the week, but uncertainty in the track and intensity forecast remains higher than usual. It is for, I think it's because we're looking at the timing of this other system coming down. They can't quite nail it down exactly. And the timing keeps changing. At one point, this thing was hitting us Monday night. At another point, it was hitting us Wednesday night. So they've really gone back and forth on the forward speed on this, and also the forward speed of the approaching cold front from the north. So because of those two variables working against each other, they really have gone back and forth on not only the track, but the timing and the strength. And that's why this is a difficult one to forecast. But yeah, residents in Florida should have everything. Like I said, maybe not on the windows, but you should have them ready, because I'm telling you, I hate to tell people, get in your car and drive away. Because I don't know if that's necessary. I really don't. But I really do believe that we go ahead, Rick.
May not be an option. Maybe too late.
Yeah, I will tell you, Joseph and I checked the roads up and down 75, 275 out of Tampa and everything. The roads are light. The traffic's light. Nobody's really evacuating. Not that we can see on the cameras. We actually went and looked for that. All right. As far as what else is going on out there, not a lot, really. There's really not a lot going on. What was the Hermine is already gone. Thanks to that piece of crap, I had to have my name put on this thing. I kept hoping that Hermine would fade away, and then this mess could be Hermine, and then I could be some little Cape Verde storm that nobody ever talks about again. But then again, I got thinking about it. This thing's going to whack the hell out of so many people, they're going to retire the name. So this is an easy way to just be one and done and have it over with. But that's really all there is out there. This one here, anytime we have one out here, we have to look at that breaking point. And of course, the breaking point is right here. I look at a line right here at the top of the islands. If this storm reaches these islands and it's below that line, it's a Gulf storm. This works about 80% of the time, by the way. This thing's already at 15 north. So it's going to have to stay down pretty low in order to continue to be a Gulf storm. Something that's going to come up in the Gulf like this. What they usually do when they're this far out is they normally get just above this line and they end up making a run at the East Coast or going out to sea. And so that's what we have to watch with this one. Let's go back and take a peek real quick at the models for that one. See if there's anything that we can glean from that. Let's go to the Euro. Okay, so here it is right here. This is our
Hey, I got a
disturbance.
question for you.
Yeah.
How much does the noise floor change on HF and VHF as the storms come and go down in the Florida, the Panhandle and the tip? Because like you were talking about Florida being so flat, but would pick up so much of the signal coming in. Because I know even being in Savannah and Atlanta, trying to get a good signal and ground can be ugly during a storm.
I can give
Okay,
you one answer.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
they run Aries nets during emergencies and like a hurricane. So within the state, they send relays. So it must be at least some bands are still open.
Because that's when I first got my license. I was involved with the Aries nets in Savannah back in the 90s.
Yeah,
So
you can bet they'll have them running during this storm.
yeah, I heard they announced tonight the 2 frequencies for the hurricane nets. I caught one of them at 7628.
Usually.
I didn't catch the 20 meter.
14,325 to 72.
14225. Okay.
325.
Is that the Hurricane Watch Net?
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I was looking for.
14,325.
Yeah, that's the Hurricane Watch Net. I'll put up the information for everybody. This is something you can go check out. It is the Hurricane Watch Net. They go active when there's storms. Now I have to admit, I go on these frequencies and listen, and I don't hear a lot, but I don't have the best antenna for voice or whatever. So, now that I've got my hex, after I'm sure I'm okay and I can put it back up. I mean, I haven't even taken it down yet, but whatever the situation is, I may see if I can listen to the WatchNet again this time and see if I can hear anything. But anyway, their plans currently, let's see here. The Hurricane WatchNet will activate Monday morning at 8 a.m. in preparation for me making landfall in the Cayman and Cuba Islands. This will be the beginning of possibly at least 2 full-day activation. Once Ian is past Cuba, we post our plans of activation as I take aim at Florida. Let's see here. Should I say Ian or I? I don't.
I.
What would the vernacular be on that? Let's see. I don't like to talk about myself in the third person, you know. Let's see. And then yeah, they've got, here's their activation plans for Monday and Tuesday right here. And they're on 14,325. So I'm going to probably hook that up and see if I can hear anything. I'll turn my hex beam towards the south and see if I hear anything.
I thought they had some 10-meter frequencies too.
Might.
Rick,
All I
Aries.
see,
I've heard of those.
yeah, I'm looking right here, and what I see is 14 and 7.
Yeah,
So I'm seeing
those are the
20
main
and
ones. If
40.
there are others, that
Yeah.
I don't know about them.
And you're Aries, aren't you, Rick? You're in Aries.
No,
No. Oh, okay.
I just know this net 14,325 is the primary, and then if they can't communicate on that, they'll go to 7268. Although it looks like they've been running them both at the same time.
There's a
Yeah, I think they stay on 20, and then if it gets bad, they go to 40 overnight.
There's a
Kinda
DMR
what it
talk
looks
group
like.
for hurricanes. 31.99.
What's that?
A DMR talk group.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's that. So you guys check this out. Even if you just have an HF receiver, this is not something you're probably gonna need to talk on. It's something you're just gonna monitor. Although if you feel you can relay, you probably could do that for them. But it's more something just to listen to. And where this becomes important is see places like Cayman Islands. There's a possibility that they will completely lose all communication infrastructure temporarily. And so ham radio may be it. And that's where this thing comes in pretty handy because we'll be able to relay messages and things like that from the mainland of the United States out to other people, or get a hold of the government or whatever down there. So that's what this is for. They'll activate this again just before it makes landfall in the US as well. They'll activate this again. So this is just the first activation for as it goes by the Cayman Islands and Cuba. and then they'll shut it down for a day and turn it back on again as it approaches somewhere along the west coast of Florida. Anyway, so that's what that is. As far as in Lee County, you really need to be set up with your frequencies that we have on the standard frequency list. To make it easy, if you notice right here on the website, the second tab says Hurricane Alert right here. If you click that button, it will bring you to the latest alert that I just put out. And it's always the latest one. I issue them twice a day. In here, I even have, if you're in Lee County, there's your frequencies right there and what they do. The blue ones are for the WatchNet, which is what we do here. And the red ones and blue and the green ones, the Christmas ones, are for Aries. And Aries uses the red ones. If the red ones go down, they switch to the green ones. But that's what that is. If you're in Lee County and you need to get a message to the EOC, I would start with number 1. If you can't get them on that, you can call net control on the repeater closest to you, i.e. if you're in Estero, you would use 3. If you're in Lehigh, you'd use 5. If you're in North Fort Myers, you'd use 7. And if you are in West Cape, you would use 9. And because those channels are monitored by a net controller in that area that's close to the repeater. So, and then you would transfer your message through there. If you cannot get Aries, you can call us and we'll pass it on for you, but I would prefer you do it directly because I don't want to get in the business of being in the middle of everybody's messages. That's how accidents happen. But I don't mind relay. That's one of the things we do. We're going to have WinLink capability here. After the storm, I'll have HF WinLink. I'll have we're going to be able to send out all the warnings and alerts and stuff over SSTV. I got that all set up. So we got a lot of neat things set up here on these blue channels for the WatchNet. The main is 34 right here. That's our main channel. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to activate that a few hours before tropical storm force winds are expected. And what I'll do is I will send out an email to let everybody know that the net is active and that I'm on. And then how it works is basically I'm going to come on. I'll say this is net control for the WatchNet. We're now going to take check-ins to anybody that's currently active on the net. At that point, if you come on, you say, oh, this is Rick, whatever. I'll say, okay, good. I'll write you down. And then we got you down. We'll keep checking on you through the storm. That's kind of what this is about. Humans checking on humans, making sure they're okay. A calm voice in the storm. Somebody you can call at 2 o'clock in the morning when the power's out and you're not able to get anything on your phone anymore because you're right near the coast and the cell sites are going down. You can call us and we'll be able to get that information for you because we have other ways of getting it. I was going to have geosynchronous and polar orbit satellite receivers up, but we have not gotten those up yet, unfortunately. But eventually we'll have other capabilities like that to be able to get the stuff down to be able to send to you guys. But for right now, I have redundant internet here. I have 2 different internet providers here, 2 separate systems that go 2 different ways. So hopefully we can stay up. Joseph is set up in Huntsville to be my backup. He's going to be broadcasting our stream if we go down, and he's going to be able to transmit as much as he can. And then I also have another way of getting on to a short stream internet that would be able to do like streaming audio and stuff too. So we've got some stuff that might work, and we're going to try all that stuff. This is kind of a big test. You know, every time this happens, this is like a big test. And this is our first one for the WatchNet. So it's going to be really cool. I also suggest after checking in with us or whatever, that you might want to keep an ear out on SARnet as well. The SARnet towers are in North Fort Myers and Naples. And you want to obviously program the nearest one of those into your radio. They're monitored all the time by somebody, but they're not monitored officially by the government. But you can at least get on SARnet and get help. SARNet's another channel that will be up during the storm, and you'll be able to hear people on it, talk to people on it. So you got several options there. You got your Aries channel for your area. You've got your 775 repeater, which is your WatchNet repeater. And then of course you've got the SARnet. All three of those will be active during a storm. So you want to check in with us and stay with us, because I'm going to be putting out alerts as they come in. We are allowed to announce weather alerts and things like that we're normally not allowed to do. As you guys know, in ham radio, we're not allowed to broadcast. We're only allowed to transmit to other people. And I understand that and actually agree with it. But one of the caveats that the law has that allows you to pass along weather information on a one-way basis. It's one of those things where you're not going to get in trouble for it. It's allowed. That's why you hear on SARnet, K4NRD gives out all the tornado warnings as they come out.
Yeah.
That's why you'll hear this also on the SARnet. They'll give them out, not SARnet, on SARnet, but also on the NI4CE system in Tampa. You'll hear of the watches and warnings for the Tampa area given out there as well. That's another channel. I don't know if anybody can receive the NI4CE. The closest VHF, UHF dual system is in Vern, which is about 39 miles from my shack here. But if you get that system, if this hits Tampa, that's going to be the system to be listening to, because that is a 5-tower system up in Tampa, and it's a very cool link system up there. And I like to get into it when I can, but I literally have to put up a 40-foot Yagi to get to it. So anyway, that's that. Those are some different things you can listen to during the storm. Also, if you go to the website, go to the TechNet website, you'll notice on the top of the TechNet website, you can also see where it says LiveNet right here. If you click that LiveNet button, you can scroll down here, and there is a bunch of frequencies I put in here for you guys. This
Okay.
is all from a show we did a while back, telling you guys all about different frequencies that are used in disasters. And this is literally all the frequencies that you would ever need to know about. Marine, CB, everything, even like different things. So basically, if you guys want to take a look at this list of frequencies, I've even got private frequencies in here. I've got air frequencies, aircraft frequencies, fire rescue, mosquito control, forestry, school buses, marine band, utilities, business band. And then I got all the hurricane stuff here. Like this is the 34 megahertz channel used by the National Guard during emergencies. So there's a lot of neat channels in here that might become active during a storm. So when
Where are
you're
you
sitting
at?
there and your TV's out, but you got a radio that's working, this would be a cool thing to maybe print out and have for the storm. But anyway, this
Were
is
you-
on the main web. Yes.
Were you intending to share that?
Yes. Can you not see it?
No.
God damn it.
No.
You guys got to let me know, because I'm brain dead.
That's why I said something.
Yeah,
One.
thank you. So anyway, yeah, this is, if you go to the here, I'll show you again. You go to the LiveNet tab on top. Okay, it's the fourth one over, LiveNet. You click on that, brings you to this page. You scroll down,
Break.
and there's all those frequencies.
Hey, this is Jim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and back out and spend some time with the family. Good meeting you
All right,
guys
man. Well-
tonight, and
All
I'll
right, good
circle
seeing
back
you.
around and hopefully see y'all in the future.
Yeah, it was good meeting you, and we hope to have you in some other time. We're on every Friday night except Christmas.
Okay, yeah, I've been getting the newsletter or the weekly link, so I've watched some of the videos and stuff. So hope to get to
We
know you
appreciate
better
it.
in the future.
All right, man. Well, have a good one,
Y'all take
and
care.
keep your head down when this goes over.
Well, from where I'm coming at now, I see it from Atlanta. Of which way is it gonna go? Is it gonna go into the plains, or is it gonna go up the East Coast? So it
I'll
splits.
I'll tell you, you want to hear something really funny? You remember Hurricane Opal?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I was in
It went right over Western Atlanta.
yeah.
I was staying in a camper at Stone Mountain Park with my mother and my elderly grandmother when that hit. We stopped because we didn't want to be on the highway, and we figured we could get as far east as we could, because it was going to go west of Atlanta. And we sat there all night with that trailer rocking with my scanner, listening to the cops and the firemen and the ham radio guys. It was a great night. I just wanted to put that out there. Opal, man, that was a hell of a storm because all the way up in Atlanta, they were still getting hurricane force gusts up there. And then it went through Blairsville and tore down 2 trees on what was going to be my property 2 years later. Anyway, all right. So there you go. Have a good night, sir. We'll see you later. All right.
Y'all
All right,
take care.
guys. Anyway, yeah, that tab is right up here. It's the LiveNet tab. Scroll down. There's all those frequencies right there. This is a live page. If you have a frequency to add it. You can add it yourself. If you screw something up, please hit undo because you're the only one that can fix it. I have this stuff. I'll paste it back in, but still. But yeah, you can see this was from a net a long time ago, but I pasted it back in because I wanted you guys to have this. Here's a little bit of trivia. I gave this out, I think, last week, but a little bit of trivia. There's a few new people in here. Does anybody know what channel in the entire spectrum, there's only one channel that is routinely and continuously monitored by the US government and you can call for help? If you know the answer, let somebody else answer. Does anybody know what the answer is?
Yep.
Yeah, I know you guys. I told you guys last week, but most everybody knew it already anyway. It's Marine Channel 16 on the Marine band. I'm telling you guys, you should have that channel programmed into any radio that will accept it. All your Chinese stuff will do it. I would never go on there unless it's life-threatening, but you got to remember, if it's a life-threatening emergency, you are 100% legal to go on Marine 16, identify yourself by name and call sign, or just by name even, and say, I have a life-threatening emergency and I need help. And everything you say from that point forward is 100% legal. And that's the only channel that you can actually call and get emergency services on the other side. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's something you probably should have in your Bofang, just in case.
That listed there,
You got to
the frequency?
you got to call up. Do what?
Is that frequency listed on your page there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
You're not sharing anymore.
yeah, I know. I was looking for it, but I can put the share back on if you want.
Joseph did it.
See, I don't know if I've got. I know it's up here. I've got Marine Band here. I think it's 156,800.
I think that's about right. I think those are in chirp too.
Yeah, 156.8. 156.8. And there's no PL and it's simplex. And you can take that and call up for help. There's towers in every major city around the United States. Now, if you travel more than 40 miles inland, you might not get anybody on it. It's more of a coastal thing or a lake thing. But anyway, there you go. So there's something new for you. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to discuss specific to the storm?
You know what to do right now is see weather maps.
Do what now? You want to see weather maps?
Yeah, to watch it on TV.
Okay,
Here's
yeah,
the north.
you talking about the track of the storm?
Yes.
Yeah, I know that it sure is looking weird right now. It's starting to track back to the right again. I'll show you guys real quick. We'll go back through it real quick. This is the Euro, and I'll set it for region, and we're going to set this for the Southeast United States. This is what the Euro. This is
North Carolina.
now. Do what?
Elected Georgia and North Carolina, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah, that's I'll run it far enough that we can look at South. Whoop, it doesn't go that far. So what we
Okay.
can do, no, it's okay. What we can do is we can see what model runs are available here. I got a noon model run I can run. And that'll kind of show us a little bit. Look what it does with it. It takes it right over Blairsville and Atlanta.
Yes. It's
Holy
Sacramento.
crap. Now, it's not going to be that strong, but it'll be strong enough to make a mess. And it shows
Yes.
it going up and dissipating out. That's crazy. All the other ones yesterday were all showing something completely different. Let's see. Let's take a quick peek. We didn't even go that far in them earlier because we were just looking at where it was going to hit in Florida. Okay, let's look at the GFS, which is further west. And let's see what runs we have
And
available
30
here.
minutes morning.
Let's see. See, this one brings it further north, and then it brings it over towards Tampa. It kisses up against Tampa, and then it brings it back over again. And then it washes it out. It does about the same thing, except it goes up the mountain chain and goes up towards the northeast and then washes it out. Yeah, Georgia is going to have a rainy mess from this storm for sure. Yeah, definitely. I see that. Let's see here that this is the Canadian model. Take a quick peek here.
If you're intending to share, I don't see anything.
Are you? God damn it.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know how I've got monitors right next to me, but I can't do three things at once. I don't know how I'm ever going to get good at this when I have to remember to switch it back and forth. When you know, the bottom line is you can't produce and be talent at the same time. That's everybody knows that in radio. All right.
need
So
an
anyway,
assistant.
we're here. I need a producer. All right. This is the
Yeah, let's get this thing going up to the armpit.
that's
bar.
the Canadian model, and the Canadian model has it going right over Atlanta proper. There's
Yeah,
Atlanta
I
right there. And then
Yeah.
right up up the Tennessee, North Carolina line, right up the mountain chain.
To Virginia, West Virginia.
Lucky.
Yep, and then it washes out into the ocean. Wow. Yeah, see, this is going to have a pretty good effect on like 3 or 4 states here before it's all said and done. That's crazy. Trying to see if there's anything new that's come out. I know they're still keeping that track, right? Every time a new one comes out, I'm going to see if I think I have a funny feeling. You guys know they don't move the track much on the intermediates.
No,
Yeah.
It's usually the big ones they move the
it
track.
changes around.
I think we're going to see this thing
Yeah,
etched to
good
the
for
right
him.
in this
Let's
next.
see what to do.
I'll check the.
I think what we're going to see. I think we're going to see this line come over just a little bit more like that. And I think we're going to see the main center line probably come over like this a little bit more. I think we're going to probably see more
Well,
like this.
Now, the thing I'm noticing here is where the cone that they're real sure about is, which is the 3-day cone, is all the way up, even with Fort Myers now. So
Yeah.
that'll push a little further north or wherever it's going.
Yeah, this will move up, you know, probably to about here. And like Rick said, we have to see if we stay inside the solid white when it gets here.
Yeah.
Because that may or may, you know. Again, I don't think we are in direct hit territory, but I think we are in really crappy weather territory. But I do also believe that I think this is a Tampa Bay storm.
Wonder if this thing will have as much lightning as Elsa had in it. My gosh, never saw so much.
I remember
lightning in
that.
a hurricane.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I never saw so much lightning in a hurricane. Well, it wasn't I don't know if it was a hurricane by then or not, but it was sure full of lightning.
Oh, man. All right. Do we have anything else that we need to do? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Any other maps you want to go over? Anything you would like to do again? I'll do again. Certainly don't mind doing it. I want to help everybody out here. I think that right now, what myself and a lot of other weather enthusiasts around are wondering is kind of why the National Hurricane Center has not already moved that a little further to the right. But
Yes.
I think they're going to, like I said, everything they do has a little bit of a political nature to it. And so I think that something might happen with that.
It's like 8 in the
all right.
morning.
Yeah, I think we got two big advisories before we get up in the morning. We've got the 8 o'clock or we got the 11 o'clock tonight. That's a big advisory. We got the 2 o'clock, which is a little advisory, and then we got the 5 a.m., which is a big advisory. So by the time you wake up, we will have had 3 advisories go by,
Gosh.
and it will have had the overnight, which is normally when rapid development happens. So we'll probably know more in the morning than we do now, I think. And we're going to also see if we get any more right turn on these models.
But the tracker is here to look at it.
All right. Anything else? I did want to mention one thing real quick. I was talking to Joseph earlier, and we were talking about weather stations, and he said you just need to go get one. So I did. I went and bought a damn weather station today. I wasn't expecting to do it, but I did it. Joseph has a way of twisting my arm. But
Mr.
anyway,
Statewide.
Yeah, Mr. Statewide. But anyway, I bought it's a Accurite.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Spanish one. Let me get the English one. That's for most of us here. The Professional Weather Center. Really
That's what I need.
nice little system. Bought it for $129 at Home Depot at Lowe's. They have them in stock. In stock. You can go tomorrow. There's one more left at the Cape Coral North Fort Myers Lowe's right there on Pine Island Road. There's one more of these left for $129, and that's it. There's not many of these left in town. We went around. Home Depot is already out of all the real weather stations. But you can still get one at Lowe's. There's one left that I know of. But anyway, I got that, and it comes with this beautiful little display, which obviously I haven't fixed the time and date on yet. It thinks it's January 1st. But
Happy New Year.
yeah, I actually put it up in a rainstorm, but some of that's probably erroneous. But anyway, there you go. You can see my indoor and outdoor. Everything's there. Rain. I like this. Is that 96% humidity? Oh my God. I believe that.
Surprised. This is Florida, remember?
And the little arrow says it's going up.
Hey, Ian, I got a big question
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that?
Do you mind if I break in and kind of take over the meeting for about 5 or 6 minutes?
Yeah, I don't care. Go ahead.
So I fixed my All-Star node today. I gave it the old college try and figured things out. I now have a working but non-transmitting, only receiving Supermon enhanced All-Star node. A big round of applause for KB1 Biz.
Absolutely.
Don't have a-
That's probably
knew-
further than I'll ever get with it.
I knew Mr. Statewide would be happy to hear about my progress. Now,
Yeah. Did you hook it to a CB? That's what he wants to know. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
it was a simple error. I refused out of pure arrogance and stubbornness to use the MV command. Oh, I'm sorry, the cut command when you want to change your password. So it eliminated the old or any part of the password that I had that was old for Almon 2, which is a monitor that takes over All-Star when you just want to press buttons on a keyboard instead of keying a walkie-talkie.
Right.
So I think I forget what it's called, clip, or anyhow, it's a double letter command. I think it's RM remove. Yeah, it was RM. So I removed the current password and gave it a new one. Click, everything fell in place.
Huh.
If I were, and I'm on Supermon, it's fabuloso, except the radio is so screwed up it doesn't transmit. So I need to mess with the telemetry.
What radio are you using?
The DR435.
DR435. Is that a
The El
DMR?
Stinko.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
So I need to, it's just trial and error, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it only seems to receive. I listened to the net in Seattle, Washington today. It was all women.
Wait, really?
Wow.
All women were on this net. I could not believe it. It was 95% women.
Wow. Wow. Women can
What?
be hams.
That's a YL net.
Yeah, I guess.
It must have been like a net specifically for them.
What a good idea. We'll get the women involved.
So Ian, when I used to live in the Fingers, as I call it, you know, the fancy schmancy section of Naples, there was a lot going on the radio about repeater management, you know, who managed the county barn, who managed the Sky Needle, blah, blah, blah. It went on for hours at a time. There was a guy who got pissed about anything.
Let me
Yeah, I know a
guess.
few of
Was his call sign Casey for RPP?
That's Harry. That's the creator of the iPhone. So you can't say anything bad about Harry.
No, you
He
can't.
created the iPhone.
Yeah,
And he
he
claims to be
He's an
very,
Apple guy.
very rich. This was
he's not very, very rich. He's such a liar.
Wait, you're telling me you can't badmouth the guy, and then you tell me he made the iPhone. He's an Apple guy.
He did not actually invent the first iPhones.
And there's
This guy's
definitely-
this guy's a real
It's
character.
not that bad. They're all okay. They just
We're
If he
just-
loves
we're just
apples,
here
how
to
can he
take
be
things-
bad?
so
Dave,
amongst all this group dynamic going on, Western Cape Coral
Okay,
had trouble
hold on
getting
just one,
into
hold on
any
just 1 second.
kind of repeater.
Can
It
you hear
was
me?
very
Can you
aggravating.
hear-
Yep, I'm roboting.
It got really bad there. We lost both of those last two sentences. It was
Try
like,
again.
I know. Just
you
as
were
I was shaking
almost,
my head was the
you
marker. You're
sounded
gonna have
just
to edit
like the
this.
Cylons.
I know. I
Gotta
know.
get a-
I'm gonna
We
I'm
are
gonna
the
close out.
Cylons.
I've been studying guitar here. I got some of my CVT lessons up for my electric guitar and whatnot. Can you
Oh,
hear me
hey,
now?
whatever you just did, yeah, I think that cleared it up.
Okay. So I was saying that on my trips to Southwest 47th and the Cape Harbor Hotel, I couldn't hit any repeater. I mean, not even on Daniels could I hit a repeater at all. Not even the Space Needle, which I thought was way, way, way north Fort Myers.
Okay.
So that said, did anybody put up a repeater site on Cape Coral that works? Is there a working repeater site?
That
there?
depends on what you mean by working.
Well,
We
yeah,
have,
I will say FMARC has a number of working repeaters and
We've
there's
got-
also a number of private ones.
147.225, which is fine right now. It's just it's missing its link to the internet.
Okay.
That's the only problem with it.
Yeah,
Just that
I'll tell
it's
you right
mounted-
now,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
All right. Well, I'm happy to hear that there's any.
It's on the top of the hospital here at Cape. That's where the transmitter is.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to put out a local guide. We've been working on the net. You probably have seen us working on it. I'm going to be putting out a local guide. This is actually a page from the local guide that I'm going to show now. But the local guide is going to have all of the local repeaters in a standard frequency list. But all of these repeaters listed here that are repeaters, they all work. These all work. They're all great repeaters.
Yeah.
And then there's about 15 more. That's why I think it's just a matter of getting the right ones programmed in.
Okay,
for when you're
Ian,
at
I
the right
got a
part of town.
correction for you. Number 9,
What's that?
147.225 is now at the Cape Hospital. I don't know if it's fusion capable, but that's the one that's at the Cape Coral Hospital now. It's not the EOC.
Okay.
As far as I know, it's not fusion capable.
All right, I'll make those corrections. This has already gone out, so I can't correct it, but I'll correct it later.
Where's the
I'll bring it
Justice
next.
Center? Oh, is that down in,
Downtown.
Downtown Fort Myers.
okay.
Yeah,
It's the where the county, or I mean, the city lockup is there.
Yeah, it's where the Crowbar Hotel is.
yep.
The
You remember,
crowbar?
Rick, you remember back when the walls used to fall down on that building?
Not really.
Twice, 2 different times, like the entire outer covering of one of the walls would fall off.
Oh, wonderful construction.
Luckily, it usually happened at night when the material was contracting, but anyway, yeah. Luckily, it didn't kill anybody. But yeah, anyway, that's the Justice Center. It's that weird shaped building that, well, let's just say if you're going to put a building on a piece of property, let's see how much property we could waste. Anyway, so anyway, these are the frequencies that I would use if I was in this area pretty much. This is this 34 right here, this 444 775. I listen to that all the time. Nobody ever calls me on it except Rick, but I listen to it all the time. So definitely
Well,
catch us
once
on
we get
that.
our all-star node up and running, there'll be more activity on there. You know what I'm thinking I want to do? Once I get my
What's that?
repeater up here on the air, and I can take this node and put it on our repeater. And then our repeater would be linked to the 775, and that would really make it active, and you'd have a constant link here in Huntsville. I don't know what you think about that.
Would be cool.
I don't think anybody would care. I don't think it would be a bad thing, at least.
Yeah, we'll look into it. I'm not sure if it's something I would leave up 24/7, or maybe we would just put it on for nets or something. I don't know. We'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
I don't want, it's not my repeater. That's why I really want to get my own repeater up, but I can't. I got to find somewhere to put it.
Them things expensive, man. I bought the repeater. I bought a Hytera 982S on Saturday for the actual repeater, like the transmit and receive side. Instead of so because I'm not getting a commercial tower, I thought, why not take the money I would have spent on that and put it towards hardware? Because I'm still going to have a good location, and it's not such a big deal if I go ahead and spend some money on hardware. So I got the Hytera thing. That's coming. That's a really nice repeater, and you have accessory ports on there, and you can get the cable for the Raspberry Pi instead of doing this hack job thing with the Baofeng. You can get full duplex out of it. And connect it up to the repeater. So that's probably what I'm going to do with this node I have sitting here. Because Raspberry Pis are so hard to get now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
well, yeah, that'll work. That would be better to have it hooked up directly to the repeater than have to go through another radio to get to and from it.
Right. And apparently these things can also act as a Broadcastify feed provider. Like you can install a little package into the All-Star image, and it can actually provide audio straight from the interface. So that may be something I end up doing as well. You could knock out 2 birds with 1 stone that way.
By the way,
Yeah.
Joe, I tried you on node 542.850 today, and you are not accepting incoming connections. Do you have your router?
542850. You can't connect to that?
Right.
Should be. I don't know why it would not
Yes.
be allowing connections.
No.
Really?
Try me. I'm 47022.
47022.
I should be allowing incomings.
All right, let me try star 347022.
Yep.
There's Dave.
What's up, Dave?
Hey, good evening all. Sorry I was late.
It just did the
Bloody
beep,
well
beep,
right.
but it didn't connect. Oh,
You can start again now if you like.
All right, everybody, let's start from the top.
connection failed. It
The
says connection
reset
failed.
button, start over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the latest on the storm? Is it coming this way?
Well, there was some curvature back to the right again, as I told you guys, and we talked about, it's going to wag left and right. They made a big deal yesterday about that wag to the left, And now all of a sudden today we've got a wag to the right. So the euro is taking it in just right on Tampa Bay. The American model actually has come right quite a bit and now has it coming very close to Tampa and then going straight north into the Panhandle. So it's a bit of a different situation right now. It's I don't know, it's kind of strange. I'll show you here real quick. We'll go through it one more time. This is the model runs. I'll leave it in this mode this time. You can see this is the what the hell? This is the euro, and you can see it comes up and it basically takes it right into Tampa Bay.
Oh.
And as a low Cat 3 hurricane.
You know what? Maybe.
That's not great for us, is it? Because we're on the dirty side. So
yeah, we will definitely be on the dirty side when it happens. So yeah, definitely. Hey, there's my wife. What's up, baby? We're in a show.
Hey, Cow
And
Pro Boy.
we're just about done. If you give me 10 minutes, I'll call you right back.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Joseph. I don't know why I'm not allowing you as an incoming connection. I'm on the California hub.
What is your? Give me your node number one more time. I think I may have typed it wrong.
47022.
47022.
Look, you guys need to get along and let each other into your rooms.
yeah.
These DMR people.
It says unable to connect. I may need to port forward my node because I can connect to other people just fine.
Node 470. Connection failed.
Yeah, you hear that? Connection failed. I mean, you're there, but I think let me look you up on the All-Star link.
Yeah, is there a part of it that gives my incoming connection status? I didn't think so. I think that's something I would do in RPT config.
47022. Well, it should report the status by default. It says here, I see it. It says you are, I think you're online.
So what are you guys trying to connect? DMR?
No, All
It's
Star.
Oh,
That's
All-Star.
fancy.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about any of those things. I really should, but
It appears that you're online. I just don't know why I can't connect to you.
Well, I'm gonna head out, y'all. Have a good night. Be
Yep.
safe.
All right.
All righty, have a good night. Well, and watch for our feeds. They'll be up. Hey,
I
and we'll talk to you guys later. Be safe.
All right.
Guys, for those of you who are left, I just want to show you real quick. This is the American model. The last run for this model 2 runs ago was here. And the last run was here. And now this one has it coming way over here and then
Wow.
back over a little bit like that. So
Yeah.
we're seeing the track is moving east, even for the west outlier, which is the American model. So now when I run this forward, you'll see that it actually thinks that it's going to come back away again from Tampa. It's going to be like it's going to come in close and then come back away again. But here, I'll show you that. We can kick this forward here a little bit more and see it kind of brings it up still into the Panhandle. But look how it comes in and out of Tampa.
yeah.
That scares me because something in the atmosphere is nudging this thing to the right suddenly. And you see the same thing in the European model. Here, let me switch to the other view.
Is that the high pressure, the low pressure coming in from the the high pressure coming in from kind of like Arkansas, Louisiana, because there's a high pressure coming in down through there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's the jet stream's going to dip pretty deep actually, and it's a big trough. There's actually going to be quite a bit of bad weather associated with it, and it's actually it's more of a this time of year thing more than a wintertime thing, because it looks more like this. It's coming straight down like that. And this is like, like your standard cold front pretty much. And as this comes down, it's going to meet up with this thing, and it's going to do two things. It can move it and it can weaken it. And so it's going to, I think, do a little bit of both. But here's the thing, as this thing comes down, you can see this model right here. This is the, let me see if I can get it to run here. Nope, I got to click this and click this. If I run this, you can see that it goes right in. Look how close that gets.
Yeah, then it curls back.
And yep, and this is the Euro. And it brings it right to the edge of Tampa Bay and then up. It's wanting to go straight up, which is going to mean more people are going to be exposed to it along the coast.
Have we got any thoughts of it being kinked over one way or another by the mountains in Cuba? Because it hasn't got there yet, has it?
No, it hasn't. There is in Cuba, we deal with mountains in Cuba, and sometimes those mountains have a good effect on what we're trying to do, as far as lessening these storms. There's mountains here. And what is this thing doing? What in the hell is this thing doing? All right, let me go back to here. There we go. This down in Cuba here, as you guys know, there's mountains here, and there's some smaller mountains here and here and going on. But there's kind of a straight here where there's not a lot of mountains. So if it goes through here, it actually won't reduce much at all. If it goes through here, it won't reduce much at all. But these mountains here could actually take it down a notch. But I'm telling you, none of this is really that significant.
I thought those mountains there might kink it a little bit, one way or the other.
They will, but not a lot. We're talking about a big system, and Cuba basically being a pretty small island. Even though we're talking 10,000 mile or 10,000 mile, the big mountains, 10,000 foot mountains, it's still not that big of a mountain range, not that big of an island. And I've seen people say a lot of times that, oh, Cuba's going to take it out of this storm when it goes over. And it generally doesn't happen that way.
No, it usually does kick it one way or another a little bit. But
yeah, you get movement, and you assume that's probably some kind of landmass interaction. But you don't really know for sure. This is the Canadian model. The Canadian model is keeping it further left and taking it up.
Yeah, but what do they know? They've only had one hurricane in the last 500 years, and that was yesterday.
Yeah, and it was yesterday. I love it. We were joking about something kind of similar to that earlier. And there's a new the guy from emergency management. There's a speech on here that he gave, and Mike carried it. If you guys when you get done here, if you want more weather, more of on this storm, that's with a guy that's better at it than I am, this guy right here, Mike's weather page, just go to Mike's weather page, spaghettimodels.com, and click on these videos. And when you go to these videos, what it'll do it will, let me see if I can get one on the play here. There we go. It'll bring you up to here, and then this is just a regular video, and you can watch this. And he's down here in the corner, and look, he's interviewing the guy at the EOC right there. This, like I said, this guy does kind of what I'm doing here, but he does it just for hurricanes. He's not some other guy doing hurricanes. This guy does hurricanes. That's what he does. He's really good at it. And here he is on an interview. This interview and his entire show tonight is available for free on his website. I suggest you go there and click this box right above the storm. There's a box, and you can watch that. It's not all that long. They're usually about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It'll be a great way to get even more in-depth coverage on what's going on with the storm. Does anybody have anything else about the storm or anything else you'd like to bring up real quick tonight?
Are you going to do another one of these on like Tuesday night?
I haven't really thought about it. I can. I should be able to, yeah. I don't think I'll be working Tuesday night because I think we'll be in wake coverage. Our stations all lock into TV and we all go home.
Hmm.
So it's kind of
Oh.
good for this because I'm always here during storms,
Well,
you know.
I think Collier, well, they're closed tomorrow, the schools anyway, because it's an in-teacher training day, and that was programmed years ago. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do Tuesday, but I mean, I haven't got anything in front of me now. But I
But
thought we were going
FMARC
to.
has put off their meeting for Tuesday night. But I think
Yeah.
it has as much to do with the fact that the people at the EOC want to use the situation room as anything else.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering where that situation room was there on Mike's weather page. But yeah, I know the EOC in Collier is making some noises. Our CERT team we got a meeting tomorrow at 5 o'clock with one of the fire chiefs. I don't know who, but one of the local fire chiefs is actually coming here. I was thinking he would be busy, but he's coming here tomorrow. So it's a extraordinary meeting called at 5 o'clock. For us tomorrow. We've got a very active CERT here because our two leaders are both ex-fire chiefs. And so, they're really big into it. But I was thinking, that we're supposed to be just about getting going, aren't we? About 8 o'clock on Tuesday. I haven't looked at much today. I've been hanging up shutters all day. I'm absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll play it by ear. Let's kind of tentatively plan on 8 o'clock Tuesday and see how it goes. I will predominantly announce it in the announcements that I'm putting out and let you guys know. But as things go now, let's look at Tuesday night at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Good. So just a quick one for Crowboy. Whereabouts are you?
In Brattleboro.
Where's that?
It's southern Vermont.
Okay. So this isn't affecting you at all. So did you get anything for Fiona? Oh,
he's frozen.
Actually, it is because I have a stepsister in Cape Coral, right near that repeater site.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And if she was smart enough to get on the radio or do any form of masculine entertainment, I mean, she's built like a bodybuilder. It's like
TMI.
What happened to the masculine world down there? Don't these women do squats? So I've been bugging her about it, but she's not going to do it because she's a wimp. But she never had her roof blown off, so I'm not that concerned. But
yeah,
like her might end once in a while.
Well,
but I was just down there because.
Yeah, when you said
because I had some business.
Okay, yeah. I was just curious because you said you were on Daniels Parkway and you didn't know the repeaters and stuff. I was just kind of curious. And as you say, you know
I know the area.
Yeah, at Naples and all
that. Get yourself an all-star node. Get a Beagle Bone Black.
There you go, Dave.
A Beagle Bone Black.
It's like a Raspberry Pi.
Bone Black from gigaparts.com, gigaparts. And they're probably on back order, but I check the website periodically. And
I don't know. I live about 15 minutes from Gigaparts.
I just bought some.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got a quick funny story about Gigaparts and I run several little businesses around here, but most of them I've kind of finished with now. But I run a home watch business, and part of that is obviously putting up shutters for people and stuff like that. So a lady in here, she used to do them herself, but she's getting on a little bit. She called me on Saturday morning. I was sail model, the little model boats, you've seen them up on there. They're about 1 meter big, but anyway. I was sailing, she calls me up and she said, can you do my shutters for me? And I said, yeah, okay. I've got room for a couple more. And she said, how much do you charge? And I said, $127.50. And all my friends who are around me sailing and all looking at me, they go, where the hell did you get a price like that from? And that's what she said to me. She said, well, how do you come up with that? And I said, well, that's what I just spent on batteries, flashlights, and coax cable. At gigaparts.
Hey, makes
So,
sense.
I will. I've done some research. I mean, this will be for another time because I know you guys have been on for ages. But I'll do a bit of a talk on coax one night, Ian, because
I'd love to do coax one
I've
night.
just done a lot of research on coax, and I've come to the conclusions that we're using crap SO239s.
Finally,
and our cables aren't so good.
finally, somebody else besides me realizes what's going on here.
Yeah, well, just hold 1 second.
Everybody puts up their RG8X and is like, all right, RG8X is the best you need. No.
It's all right.
Well,
for- yeah.
feed lines like anything else, you can always get better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and you can get a lot better for not that much more money.
I'm always hijacking Ian's thing, but where are we? Okay, can you guys all see that? This is the dog's bollocks. Oh, new English, another English swear word for you. So this is the, we'll have a long talk about it, but look at the connector. I know.
That's a long connector right there. Is that N?
No, that's a SO239.
Yeah.
It's dust proof, waterproof,
Wow.
you know, beer proof.
Wow.
But if you look up these guys, Messi and Pelosi, Poloni.
No, I don't want it if it's Pelosi.
Yeah, no.
I
No,
just
no,
made
that
her
would
bank
be-
account.
But
I don't need
Yeah, I thought-
anything that's really old. It doesn't do much.
no, well, I as you know, I've been doing PODA recently, and I was playing around with my PODA cables, and they really weren't working. I had lots of intermittent problems, and I put them on my rig expert and stuff, and I was getting random readings, and it put me down the slippery slope. Let's see if I can find some coax that'll be, waterproof, dustproof, step-on proof, dog pee proof, all the stuff that you get at PODA, and but with good results. And then I came across these guys that hang out at Gigaparts, and then there's all sorts of stuff online about testing them and everything. So, and lengths. Sometimes coax lengths are important. 25 feet is a pain in the butt. So I got 10 meters, 33 point something or other. So I didn't have an even.
Yeah,
thing, so-
they work better when they're in feet.
They do?
Yeah,
Some people
everything I
say
have
the
that's-
coax length matters.
But meters,
Yeah.
you can, we work in meters. You don't want anything that's 20 meters long if you're working 20 meters. Or 15 meters long if you're working 15 meters. But that's for another day.
Well, let's do a night on coax. Let's get all this storm behind us, and then we'll set
Yeah.
up a night for coax. Also, I want to do a night for DMR. We've got several of us with DMR radios, and none of us can get them working. So we're wanting to do a DMR night too. Let's
sorry.
do that. Is there anything I do want to get going though? I need to get going. If you guys want to stay on, I'll leave the meeting to you, but I need to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
I don't know. I'm still trying to get this all-star thing working. If you wanna
If you
leave
guys
it-
just
want to
have
stay
one
on,
more
I
closing
will turn
statement.
it over to you.
Well, thanks again for your emails, Ian, for the newsletters.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this stuff.
And
All right.
best
Yeah,
of
I'll
luck,
keep-
everyone,
I'll
and
keep
be
sending them out.
safe.
Joseph, I made you host. If you want to stay on for any length of time, it's perfectly up to you guys, but I'm going to get going and call my wife. She's in Maryland, staying by herself in a hotel room. So I'm going to give her a call and see what's going on.
Wow, did she do a runner?
No, she had a death in the family, and we flew
Oh.
her up there. She's been up there about 5 days, and she comes back tomorrow evening on a red eye.
I was
So
wondering
there
if
you
she'd,
go.
And I've got this all-star node here, hopefully repaired. So whenever you want
Yes.
to come by and pick that up,
Possibly tomorrow. I'll let you know.
Okay,
Tomorrow or Tuesday for sure, because I want to get it hooked up before the storm gets here.
yeah, okay,
All right, so I'll probably be over tomorrow on my way to work. Is what I'm planning.
okay. And I may be.
If I work tomorrow, I think I do work tomorrow. So
Yeah, I may be in the process of getting this X-beam down tomorrow. I decided not to do it today and now it's looking worse. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and get it.
well, if you decide to do it, wait till I get there. I'll help you with it.
Okay. All right,
All right, I'll bring a t-shirt so I don't sweat up my uniform.
all right.
But yeah, we'll do that. All right, anybody have anything else?
Joe, I just have a couple little things to say. If
Sure.
you
Oh,
want
yeah,
to,
go ahead.
okay. I'm on the Port Orchard, Washington hub.
Okay, is
42.
this for you? I'm gonna go ahead and bow out since you guys
Yeah.
are doing the DMR. I'm gonna go ahead and get going. Have a
Thanks.
good one, Joseph. It's all yours, okay, brother?
All
You
right.
guys have a good night. Talk to you later. It's
All right.
the YouTube's still on too. Get rid of it whenever you're ready.
Okay.
All right, I'll catch you later. Bye.
Joe, I
Yeah.
don't care if my email address goes out on YouTube. Everybody knows who I am. I'm Mr.
Right.
Foxwoods. I'll give you my email address.
Okay.
It's New Jack Crow, NEWJAKRO
JAKR. Hold on.
NEWJAKRO
JAKRO
at
Right.
Gmail.
at Gmail.
And I'm like one step away here. At least this weekend, I went 3 steps and only 1 step backward. So it's just a thing with the telemetry, you know,
Yeah. Okay.
if the COS is reversed. That the great thing about Supermon is it has an idle, you know, Supermon, right?
Kind of.
It's easy to do. The top line says whether your COS is reversed. It talks about your polarity.
Right.
So when you're just receiving, it's usually in pink or green. And now it just says idle in gray because I'm not receiving or transmitting. But if you think of any ideas, that's why I'm giving you my address and we can chat about that.
Okay. Sure.
But
I'm
that's
glad to
the
help out with
hub
that.
I hang out on.
So if you're on, I went and port forwarded my all-star node. I don't know if that was the problem or not.
I think it's on my end.
Maybe, I guess, because I can try connecting
so
to the
weird.
hub.
I've had
I
other
try and-
people complain they can't connect to me.
Let me try connecting to the hub here.
42660.
Well,
I'm just leeching off of him. He's this ham in Washington. I don't know if the
42660.
hub allows incoming connections unless they're kind of like this prestigious group. They think they're badass.
Oh boy, don't I have
So you can leech off people, you know, seeds and leeches
right. I did the thing. Why did it not?
until they complain.
Oh. Your node is connected to my node.
Okay, I must have got some spelling wrong here. What was that thing again for
Node
gigaparts?
4, 2,
Beagle Bone Black.
so
Beagle is the
Oh,
microcomputer
Beagle, as
that
in-
you're
Oh, okay.
I can't
that
even
you're going to
connect.
stick your
to that
image in from ham VoIP, and then you need a dongle. I'm sure Joe can make you a dongle, and then you need a link radio, and then you need an antenna, and then you need a walkie-talkie, and then you need one thing, and that is patience.
thing.
Patience.
I got plenty of all that. I've got plenty of radios, plenty of
I can't
plenty of
even connect.
patience.
I can't even connect to the 42660. It won't let me connect. It says connection failed.
Then you're something's screwed up about your router. It couldn't be the RBT config. It's your router.
Wonder if it's blocking outgoing connections on that port. Maybe.
It's very rare, but it could be.
I don't know. I haven't tried to connect it to anything yet because I haven't had anything. Well, no, wait, no. I connected it to the Fort Myers stuff. Let me see if I can not connect to them. I was connected to the FMERC hub for a while. W2PAX, the
Oh, it's one
Oh.
word.
Yeah, big
54639.
blown
black is one word.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
Node 54639 connected to.
There, see, I was
node
able to connect to the FMark hub.
Yeah. That's because Harry isn't on and he hasn't blocked you.
I connected Harry's, I connected Mike's, I connected like everybody up the other day going through my
Mike's?
code. Into
The
FSU.
original Mike into FSU?
Yeah, into FSU mobile. Yeah, he's still around. So you got KC4RPP, you got Harry, and then you got into FSU mobile. You got Mike, and they're all still there, but I don't think they're getting along right now. Do you know who Daniel Mullally is? Call sign KN4LYZ.
What's the last name, Joe?
Mullally.
How do you spell it?
Mullally, I believe. He goes by the doctor, and his call sign is KN4LYZ.
KM4LYZ.
Kilo November 4 Lima Yankee Zulu.
Never heard of him before
Really?
in my life.
You know who Harry and Mike are, but you don't know who Dan is.
I haven't heard of Dan.
Wow. What about N5ICT? Do you know who he is?
Not a block from me.
He told me that I got my electronics degree out of what he termed a cereal box. He made me real mad one night at the mall. I was hitting on a chick at the the Gulf Coast Center Mall. And I came out and I heard him on the radio on his way home from some TV station that he works at. And he started to quiz me on whether I knew about Marconi and what a dipole was. And then he tells me I got my degree out of a cereal box.
So, well, that's not too bad. I'd take that as a compliment, personally.
Actually, ICT lives about maybe a mile from here.
Really?
That much, yeah.
So he's
on the other side of the bridge.
He's the
He runs-
trustee of the 900, though, isn't he?
I don't know.
I think he's the trustee of the 900. Well, I bring it all up because
900.
about 2 weeks, yeah, the 443-900 down in
Oh,
Naples.
439. Yeah, okay.
Him
Works for one of the broadcasting companies around here. I've talked to him a couple of times.
Well, him and Harry and I think either Mike or somebody else down there, some guy named Joe, not me. They all kicked Dan off their repeaters. Supposedly there was some drama going on down there. So I wonder if you knew anything about that. But
I know nothing about all
Never heard of a Dan.
yeah, well, he must have come
Although I do-
along after you left.
Although I do have a friend named Dan up here who I can team viewer into his node. He's registered and he's given me, he knows me. I've known him since he's been in diapers, and I can team viewer into his node and talk. I think it's 56003 or something. He never gets on, and his name is close to that name you just gave me. His last name is Malloy. So,
Oh, that's funny. But
well,
it's definitely different people.
that's kind of different than Malau, right?
Yeah, still similar. That's funny though.
Yeah, Malloy.
Yeah, but I don't know what's going on with this node, man. I'm able to connect to the FMARC hub, which makes me think it's working normally. In a day or so, we're gonna get all our other all-star node, the one Rick just repaired, and connect that up to the Fort Myers repeater, and then we'll have a connection via radio from here to there using 2 Baofeng radios. One of them is just tuned to the repeater's input frequency, and so we've added all-star capability to a repeater that we don't actually have physical access to.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, any usable all-star node is good because nobody's on anymore. I mean, Mauricio is done.
Mauricio's done.
Mauricio's all done.
He's out. He's leaving the hobby.
Yep. And Danny, who I just talked to, is using a CB at 3,000 watts tonight.
Well, what's I don't know who Danny is. Are you thinking of What's the guy who gets down to
W-
11 meters?
W4YXI.
Oh, you call him Danny? That's his
Yeah.
real name? Okay, I'm thinking of Black Sheep.
Yeah,
All right.
that's his real name. Yeah.
Yeah, well, as Sergio says, CB radio or ham radio is dead in Miami, so I'm not surprised to hear that. Thanks to a Mr. Rowley.
I don't really care to know what happened, but apparently you know the story, right?
Yeah, long story short, there's a guy named Rowley. He caused a lot of trouble. Basically, he was really like controlling, and if people didn't do what he wanted, he would make threats. And the drama escalated to the point where Robert actually got, well, I don't know if I want to make that too public, but he got Robert in trouble. Robert's mad at him. Everybody's really mad at Rowley right now because of what he did, and there's legal battles going on right now, and pretty much all the repeaters have fell like dominoes over the course of a week or two because of this guy. He called the place where the repeater was hosted, and everybody was just sick of the drama at that point, and they just started taking everything down because this guy was just causing constant problems. So pretty much this one guy is responsible for killing radio in Miami.
And he was just like a rat. I mean,
he started off as like friends with the group and everything, and then slowly he sort of, if people didn't operate the way he wanted, or he would try and get the repeater to go a certain direction and people wouldn't like it, and so he'd get mad and was just like really controlling. And when people didn't do what he wanted, he would start digging up dirt on them and trying to blackmail people and just really bad stuff.
Wow, for about 2 crates of beer, you can have somebody taken out in Miami. I was kind of surprised they
I
didn't.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, it almost got that bad. Like I said, there's legal battles going on right now over these things. So
so Mauricio is never going to get his tower back and working.
I don't know about Mauricio. I only spoke to him a few times. And from what I heard, he's just kind of disappeared from the radio stuff. The only way I have contact with these guys is through our Zello group. And if someone's not in the Zello group, I don't really hear about them all that much. So
all right. Well, so Danny invited me to the group, Miami Hams.
Right.
And I'm on there clicking around, and I said, Danny, I need a password. And so I never got it. So do you have that?
Oh, well, the password's different for every person.
Email it to me.
Yeah, let me get you that. That always happens whenever someone new tries to join. It's just back and forth over and over.
Yeah.
And they never solve the problems. We did actually get one other guy in recently who was just a listener of the 325, but I gotta get you that code. I think actually Danny's not the one who manages that group. I think Ruben is.
Yeah, Ruben.
Ruben's the one who has the password. I gotta look
And
back.
he used to have an all-star node, or he does, doesn't he?
He did. I don't think it's still online. I checked recently and I think it was offline.
Yeah. I wonder what I'm doing wrong about transmit.
You got one of your pins is not right.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish it was that easy.
Is it really?
So, Dave, if you get a BeagleBone Black, you just burn an image from Ham VoIP using Belina Etcher. That's what
I've done that. I've used that before on my other Unix machine.
Are we still live?
Yeah,
I think so. I can
We're
turn the
still
live
live on
off.
YouTube?
I can turn the live off.
I think I'm gonna go anyway.
Yeah. I don't mind broadcasting. I don't care, but
Here, I've got the password. I'll email it to you. It is case sensitive, and I believe it has to be all lowercase. But I'm on that thing almost every weekday, like during work hours. I have it monitoring.
The time is 10 p.m.
There, I sent you that password. Yeah, no, come on there and hang out with us. We got everybody on there. All the core group is there.
All right. As long as KC1AR isn't there, I'm in.
Hold on, failed to send KC1AR. No, he's not on there.
If he's not on, that's fine. If he is, I'll never get on.
No, he's nowhere near there.
Tomato.
Wait,
He
hold on.
talked to pizza and the differences between sauce and gravy.
Hold on. Is his nickname Tomato? Hold on. No. Okay, I was confused there for a second because I don't know I don't know every single person's name.
Yeah.
Hold on. I sent to your email and it said failed to deliver. I wonder if I did it wrong.
KC1AR refused a donation from a well-to-do guy in Naples, a $2,000 Hytera. He refused it.
Why?
This guy was nice when they had repeater problems to drop off a Hytera at KC's house, and he refused it. He was like, "What'd you do that for?" And then he went on and on for me with years about this issue he had with, the creator of Allmon, Supermon, KN2R,
Oh gosh.
Paul.
Right.
And this whole group dynamic, it was like, get me out of here.
I think I have your email wrong. I tried to send it to you and it said does not exist.
New Jack Crow at G mail.
NEW
Yes.
JA. What is it after that?
KRO.
RO.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a W in there. There we go. All right. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, it's funny. We're starting to get people. I noticed we had a couple people in here from the Miami area. Last stream.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of these days I'll get everybody in for a TechNet night. Might get kind of crazy though. Maybe I have them in here on like text chat only or something because it would get kind of crazy.
All right. I'm not even signed. I have 16 of my emails open. Not that. Where is it? Where am I? Oh, here it is. I forgot what I named myself. All right. All right. I got it.
All right. Let me know if it works. If it doesn't work, I will pester them until they make it work.
But there's nothing in the email. Oh, yes,
Are you
there
kidding?
is.
It should be the first line.
There is. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Glad to help.
Well, I'll be tinkering tomorrow night.
All right.
I'll blast you with a couple questions.
Sure.
All right. And maybe our two small brains, well, my small brain and your large brain can help.
All right.
I never thought I'd be saying that to a 19-year-old on Zoom.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, Mr. Statewide.
Statewide, got down.
Have a super fine one.
All right. Well, if anybody has anything else, or if anybody doesn't have anything else, I'll go ahead and end the meeting here.
All right.
Got nothing. Dave, we have 2 Daves in here. I guess neither one of those Daves has anything.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
If they
Yeah,
don't speak up,
disappointed
then,
with this
they're gonna get hung up on,
crap weather. I was supposed to be doing polar more or less all week. So
You could do HODA, Hurricanes on the Air.
That would be a good one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Throw a kite up.
I can do that because all my antennas are indoors.
Exactly. See, you gotta, and then when you get on and call CQ, you gotta be like, "This is AC3AV from the middle of Hurricane Ian."
Yeah,
that'll get you a pile up right there if people know you're in a hurricane.
Yeah, what I did in Sandy, because I was involved with Sandy, we we were staying fairly close to the shore. We were, I don't know, 100 yards maybe from the shore. And the house that the Red Cross had put us up to was a stone building, and it was elevated and everything. And it had above ground pool that was actually in ground. No, it looked like it was in ground because it was an above ground pool, but everything was high. And we had a wooden patio all around the outside. So he said, "Oh, we're going to have a hurricane party. Anybody want to come?" Because Superstorm Sandy was supposed to be an hurricane. It did more damage than a hurricane because of the way they do things. So it ended up, we had like 60 people come. It was unreal.
Wow.
And we're all standing out there with drinks, and it's pouring down with rain. And, everybody was bringing beer and tequila and all sorts of things. It was, so we ended up, because, the Red Cross had its own, God, I'm trying to think what it was, the frequencies they were using then. They were like just above, I think it was something like the waterboard or something. It was, up in the 150s, just above 2 meters. There's quite a few people who come down, oh yeah, we'll pop round for a couple of beers. And then it ended up with like 60 people, but we were all outside because it was warm. When it was super warm, I mean, Superstorm Sandy, the rain was, because it was the same as we've got here, because it was the beginning of September, and the ocean was particularly, because the Gulf Stream, it comes from the Gulf, goes around Florida and all the way up the coast. And because of the situation in the middle of the Atlantic, the Gulf Stream was being pushed against the Jersey, Long Island, against the shore there. So the water was phenomenally warm. And of course, the superstorm, as it ended up being called, was picking up all its energy and dropping the rain. And the rain was actually warm.
Wow.
So it was, that was actually, it was fun, but it was devastating afterwards. It really was. It was a sad storm, the damage it did. I mean, it flooded the whole of, I'm surprised, I guess because the money was there, that it was cleared up so quickly, but it flooded up most of the subways in New York, Manhattan. And it took away the Raritan River, it took away hundreds of homes. But, the council bought them all back and demolished what was there. But,
Wow.
it was tough. Long Island was closed for well over a week. So that's where we were, walking from house to house, putting on red crosses or whatever on the side of the house, switching off the water if we could, switching off the gas if we could. Nobody was expecting it, it was... came out of nowhere. Well, not completely, but it was pretty bad. But, so this is the first time I'm going to be in a hurricane that is actually somewhere where I live.
Well, there you go. Let's see.
And I've done 7 of them, but this is the first time it will be in my home. So that's kind of quite. And I like Ian, I've never done an eye.
We don't really know where it's going yet.
We don't know where it's going, but we know we're going to be in, we're going to be in the
periphery of it. Anyway.
Yeah. Where the millibars are close together. So that counts. It's going to be a hurricane. So, it might not be over our houses, but it's going to be out in the ocean a little bit. So, the last one I came down here for was Matthew. And that was supposed to go through Mount Dora. And they put us all up in Mount Dora, ready with FEMA and all the rest of it. And it ended up in Jacksonville. Not that far away, but, And that was the famous fake picture. I don't know if anyone ever saw that. They had one of those blow-up sharks, that the kids put in their swimming pools. They're about 14 foot long and everything else. Somebody put it in the water because it had flooded the high street in Jacksonville, and they put this shark in the water. Everybody was taking pictures saying it was a shark. But like the news was desperate for anything, so it ended up on the news. There was a shark scene, so which was a little sad, but there you go. So I've been putting up shutters like crazy.
Wow.
around
Well,
here. So,
well, that's good that
I'm
you're doing
hoping
that.
they won't be needed, but they're up anyway. So,
You got to take a hole saw and put little eye holes in the shutters like we did so we could look out during the storm. See
I
what's
was
going
thinking
on.
about that because mine here, well, I've got, the front door is glass, but that's hurricane proof. The whole back of the house is all the big windows, the sliders and everything are all hurricane proof. So we can see out
Oh, nice. Okay.
front and back, but we can't see out to the side. And I've got water on two sides of me here, so
Uh-oh.
It's got about currently maybe 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet before it gets up to the house, and the house is 4 or 5 inches above the terrain, so I think we'll be okay. But,
that's good.
so a lot of people in our development have done a runner. My friend, a good friend of mine, lives 2 streets over from me. I called him this afternoon. He left at 8 o'clock this morning. And he only got as far as Galveston. No, Galveston. No. Whoa. Where did he get to? Up at the university in Florida. What's that place called?
Gainesville?
Gainesville.
Gainesville.
That's as far as he got.
Huh.
And he had to wait 45 minutes just off of 75 at, he did tell me where it was. I think it was Booksville or somewhere like that. He had to wait 45 minutes to get gas in line on 75 going north.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was one of the things we were talking about, me and Ian, this earlier today, was putting up a live cam of the FL dot weather cam or traffic cameras. So I wonder if tomorrow they'll be backed up.
Well, they were backed up today.
Well, really, because I looked on the map to try and find heavy traffic.
Well,
and
it was heavy. I mean, it was basically, he said we were going as fast as the slowest car. They were moving, but there was lots of people with lots of. He sent me a picture. I can't believe it. Whoever it was who evacuated had a trailer on their back of their F-150 or whatever it is, and they put their golf cart on it.
Shades of Hurricane Floyd in 1999. People going contraflow up I-16 from Savannah into the middle of Georgia. It was a mess.
Yeah.
They had their golf cart on the back of the trailer.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, like we were saying on Friday, like evacuating from Florida, there's only one way to go. That's north.
About right.
The evacuation routes, like from Manhattan and, because I used to work there for a little bit, but I mean, I was north of Philly, but,
Imagine evacuating from Key West. There's only one highway out.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was serious for Irma, wasn't it? Because they couldn't get back. They wouldn't let them back. But I say on Long Island, I worked on Long Island for the Red Cross and FEMA after Superstorm Sandy, and it was a week before anyone could get back because there was 3 bridges, one at the top, one at the bottom, and one in the middle. And the police had those bridges all closed off, and it was only emergency service vehicles, and that was it, basically.
New Orleans after Katrina.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wasn't involved in that one, fortunately.
Fortunately, I wasn't either, but it was a mess from what I
It was, yeah. Yeah, even the shelters got damaged there. But I tell you don't want to hear some of the stories. I mean, I'll tell you one quick one. The shelter, Collier County, have got a shelter, their only handicapped shelter, which is out on an oil well, which is along Immokalee Road out of Bonita Springs towards Immokalee. Oil well at road. That's where their handicapped shelter, handicapped and animals. So if you're handicapped and you've got an animal, then that's the shelter you got to go to. They got no cell phone service there.
If you got a handicapped animal, you got it made.
Yeah. Now, well, there's a lot of old folks or people with you know, dogs and cats and stuff, you know, that you have to take them in a cage, but they do cage them there, but you have to take them in a cage. So it can be a little portable cage.
Yeah.
But, you know, can you imagine having a shelter that hasn't got cell phone service?
Man.
You know, nowadays you think that's, but I was saying to you guys on Friday, you know, Collier County has got the richest city and the poorest city in Florida, and they're
Same.
both in Collier County.
Yeah.
One is Naples, which is the richest one, and Immokalee is the poorest one. Half of the population of Immokalee live below the poverty line.
Mhm.
Can you believe it? Within 35 miles of each other. That's unreal. Yeah,
That's crazy.
it is. You know, half the kids that go to school, you know, don't have enough to eat every day. But you go there, I mean, they're really nice people. They seem to be really happy. You've got some great restaurants and stuff. Well, you know, they're kind of hole in the walls. Well, I like hole in the walls.
They may be Mexican restaurants.
Oh yeah, they're mostly Mexican or Cuban or
It's kind of like
Peruvian. There's a great
Island.
Peruvian restaurant there.
It's just full of Mexican restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's kind of disturbing to think that, you know.
Yeah, it's weird how that stuff pops up and how it develops.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think that the poorest would possibly be, you know, somewhere around in and around Miami, but
Nope.
no, it's Collier County. I mean, I guess no one's surprised that Naples, I guess because Naples is fairly small and such a lot of rich people live there, that's probably why. I'm sure there's way more wealthy people living in and around Miami, but, you know, if you take the average, because, you know, average is killed, isn't it? Because like if there was 20 people all in a bar, and they all earned, you know, a salary of about 60,000, and Bill Gates walked in and sat down in the bar, all of a sudden everybody in that bar on an average would be a billionaire.
Wait, what?
Think
Oh,
about it.
the average.
On average.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Never thought of it that way.
No. Well, the other thing is, I've got to get this right. You can probably look it up and see it better, but to give you an example of what $1 million is worth, you know, if you put $1 away for every minute the moment you were born, it would be something like 3.5 years and you would have $1 million.
For every minute?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I'll have to do the maths, but it's like 34 years for $1 billion. I'll do the maths. I'll let you know on Friday.
Well, that's just a billion minutes.
Sorry?
That's just the same as a billion minutes. It's just take how many minutes you've been alive.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
But it gives you some idea of what these figures really mean in real terms, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm just trying to look for the latest, but we haven't got anything different on the.
Yeah, there won't be another thing till 11 o'clock.
No. The one I find most interesting is the arrival times of the wind. And that has changed significantly. So now the wind should arrive for us on Tuesday at 8 p.m. That's why I was thinking it'd be a good time to have. That's when the first winds will arrive, you know, significant winds. So that would be kind of interesting, I thought, to have a net then. But I must admit, I haven't been on the radio, and I don't watch TV anyway, but but I haven't even been on the computer today. I've been working all day. Excited to try my new coax. So what's your thoughts on the coax, Joseph, before we run off?
I just think let me make sure I'm muted here. Yeah, okay. I don't know. For a long time, I just used like whatever the swap shop had or something like that, you know. But now that I know that so much better options exist, like RG142 is a really good alternative to RG8X. But like our house, when we first put our very first ham radio setup, we had RG8 running from the attic to the radio. So that was like over 100 feet of coax on an antenna that had no gain whatsoever. I can't believe that thing worked at all. There was so much loss in that setup. But now that I'm like getting into it more seriously, and I'm just kind of surprised how everybody uses what they use. Like for HF, yeah, you can use RG8X and everything.
And
But
X is fine for HF.
right.
Once you get 100 feet of 8X for UHF is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You might as well be loading up a wet spaghetti noodle.
Yeah, pretty much. Like anything higher than like 27 or 29 megahertz, like once you go above 10 meters, you really got to upgrade unless you're going a very short distance.
Well, I've been looking at 20 meters because I say mainly for PODA, because I wanted a cable that initially was flexible and had very low loss, or as low as possible, because you know you're running off a battery. I'm only running 60, maybe 80 watts, and my antenna is definitely compromised because it's basically on the ground. So I'm looking to minimize all my losses, but I also wanted something that was waterproof and dustproof and sandproof, because here, you know, I mean, the 4 sites that I activate, 2 of them are actually on the beach, right on the beach, which is Lovers Key and Wiggins Pass. And then the other 2, the one is Corsham, which is probably my favorite, is just all sand anyway. It's on the Estero River. And the other one is the Estero Water Flats, or whatever they're called, just off in Estero off of Broadway. So, you know, and when I was screwing my SO239 on the other day, it was crunching, you know, like you were walking on eggshells.
Ooh.
So there wasn't much sand in there. There was just a little bit, but that's enough. You know, when I got home, I cleaned them with the old compressed air thing that you clean your keyboards and that with. So I was thinking, oh, you know, and then when I started looking into it, you know, even if you have like LMR 400, which would be too much for portable use, but all LMR 400s are not the same. All RG8s aren't the same. All, you know, 213s, which is a cable that I particularly like. I like LNMR 400s because they're pretty good low loss, and, you know, there's solid copper in the middle and whatever. But looking into it, I found there's a significant difference. And like you say, if you're running, even running 20 meters over 100 meters of RG8, you know, if you've got 3 dB of loss and you've got significantly more than that, you know, if you're putting 100 watts into it, you only got 50 watts at the other end. But don't forget what you're receiving. You're receiving is automatically halved. So you can hear half the stations that are out there if they're, you know, marginal. And marginal is where all the good stuff is.
Well, that's what I realized when I built that directional, the Yagi antenna for 70 centimeters. I was just amazed at how much loss the feed line gives you at those frequencies. I was like, I'm only hearing a third of what I'm picking up. Oh my gosh. And I had to get something better.
But even the connectors and especially the couplers, you know, you're coupling 2 pieces together, you do 2 or 3 of those. I mean, they're only, you know, they're not far off a dB loss between each one.
Yeah.
So, you know,
well,
but also the other thing is cable lengths, especially if you're running something like an NFED, you know, which uses partly the screen of the coax as a counterpoise. You know, there's all sorts of. So anyway, this is some good stuff, or on paper it looks good, and I've read several YouTube reports that says it's good. So I'm really looking forward to measuring both ends and actually seeing how better it is live. But my old cable, it's just the old story, you know, I'm going polo, I don't want to use my good cables. So I was using like old Amazon cables that I bought somewhere or other. You know, I bought a couple of pieces of, I bought a box full of junk because there was 2 things in it I wanted, you know, for $5, and there was a couple of 3 lengths of 25-foot coax, and those were my beat up used coax, you know, and I used those for polo, and I realized, hold on a minute, you know, people are giving me 5 and 8, and I can only give them a 5 and 3. What's going on here?
Man, you
So,
know it's bad. You know it's bad when people start giving you actual signal reports.
Well, polo
So
they
say you're
do,
5
which
by
is really
9.
good. You know, if you do polo, they really, most people, especially if you do park to park, you know, the guy in the park will say, you're 4-1, you're 4-1, you know you're 4-1 because he's asking you to repeat, you know, the first letter of your call sign 5 or 6 times. So, and then you got to give him your park number. So, you know, you are. I mean, I worked a guy the other day, he said I was 3 and 3. And I know I was, because it took 2 or 3 minutes to complete the call, you know.
Wow.
So you know you're down there. So, well, you think about it, you know, you're putting up an antenna, it takes 5 minutes. Got a big ass coil at the bottom and a whip or something, and then one single counterpoise. You know, it definitely works better near the beach. That
Oh yeah.
you know, that salt water helps.
Yeah, you know, if you can do it on like a pier or something and throw a counterpoise into the water,
Yeah,
then it gets really, really
and
good.
it gets good. Yeah, I haven't got to that yet. I could at Wiggins Pass, that's the only one. But you know, it's the same thing. You need to set up a table, because I use the computer. I've got pictures, but I can't show you the pictures. I don't think I'm trying to get my pictures to automatically download every time I plug the phone in, but it doesn't seem to be working.
You can do that over the internet, I think.
I'm a little bit disappointed with the new, you know, Apple have putting all these super protection things in to their software, and it's made it a little bit kind of clumsy. It's not as good. The latest one, I think, is ISO 16.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, 13, 14 that I was running before were really good. But now I understand the phone is, oh, there we go, imports. I understand the phones are better, they're more secure, you know. I mean, I used to be able to read my messages just by picking up the phone. Now I've got to tap the phone, I've got to lift the phone so it can see my face, and then I've got to select the application. So now, okay, it's safer, but why can't I import? It makes it a little more difficult, you know.
Well, you can turn a lot of those things off.
Yeah, I know. I just have to get into it. Yeah, but sometimes you turn them off and then other applications need them.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah, well, since they got rid of the fingerprint reader, now you have to use the Face ID.
Yeah. Well, I had the fingerprint reader on the old phone, but that was a pain to get rid of that. But when I did get rid of it, please unlock the phone. Here we go. You see, you can't copy anymore without unlocking the phone.
You can't. From my experience, if you have a large, like a video file on your iPhone, it will not let you transfer it over USB into a computer, because I guess it times out or something. Like it'll be halfway through transferring the video, then the phone will just like lock you out. That really was a big frustration back when I was trying to back up my phone one time.
I don't think I've ever.
Maybe if I was on a Mac, it probably would have worked. But
yeah, I don't know if I've.
But I shouldn't have to buy their computer to get a file off my phone that I took. You know.
I agree wholeheartedly. Let me Bear with me a moment. I will show you, I think, a great picture for radio echo. There we go. Share screen. And that one. And I want that one. I think this is, can you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There you go.
that's pretty nice.
Isn't it?
I like that little case you have.
That's pretty good. That's Wiggins Pass. So basically, this is my $150 computer. We can't see it there. That's the battery box. This is my 857. And this box is a little bit overkill, but everything goes in there. This is the a little speaker, because the audio is not that great. You can't see it very well, but here's the crappy coax feed in it. This is the antenna. It's on a tripod. The tripod, the coil is there, and then you can't see it too well, but the oh, can I zoom in? No. The counterpoise runs along here. So, because the other thing is, there's things that you don't think about. When you're doing PODA, you could paint your freaking cables like sky blue pink, and somebody would walk into them. You know, and dogs, I mean, it's like instant. You put something on the ground and people's dogs are like there, you know, they want it. So, yeah, I mean, this, let me see what, let me show you. Yeah, this is the parking lot. Double, that's my car. That's the Subaru. So I doubled the parking in this parking lot.
Wow.
You just better scroll between them. This is the beach.
What beach is that again?
Wiggins Pass.
Where the heck is it?
That's before I set up. This is the bench I was using. Because as you can see, it's a little bit of shade. I could have used that beach, which had been perfect. But I mean, what a great place. Yeah, that's the beach going in one direction. See one chick here. That's the beach going in the other direction. This is Fort Myers.
Oh.
Up there. I'm trying an arrow. So actually, if I go here, I think you can see. Yeah, see those things there? I should be able to zoom, shouldn't I?
There's a little zoom slider up at the top.
Yeah, right, there it is. That is Naples, you know, Pelican Bay with all the condos.
Right. Mm.
So, oh, okay, that didn't work, did it? So that is, hang on.
So you're over kind of by Bonita.
Yeah, this is just down the road from me.
Oh.
So there's Fort Myers. Yeah, Fort Myers. Don't ask me what part. I don't know Fort Myers very well, but as you can see, it's not particularly early in the morning, about 9:30. But I was thinking, what a great place. I can't find my little arrow now. Okay, I'll have to go back there. I was thinking, you know, what a place to have your shack. That's not bad, is it? You know?
Yeah, that'd be very nice.
It's pretty cool. I enjoy PODA. It's good fun. Takes you to weird. I got all sorts of. I've got other pictures, but I usually take a picture or two wherever I go. But so you can see from this picture, this is the coax. So you've got to put the antenna somewhere relatively safe.
Right.
So, you know, so it's out of the way where people are going to, but you can see this is just sand and dust and shale and Lord knows what else. So, and on this antenna, it's actually connected there, but on the Wolf River coil, it's connected here just a couple of inches above all this grime. And then if you want to, when you disconnect it, where does it go? It drops down into this.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, that's just bog standard RG8. So you need that's why I've gone for this to give it a go. I know it's a little bit overkill. It's a little bit expensive, but you know, if you make all this effort, you know, to get down there, it seems silly not to have the best, or you know, that you can have to do the job.
I agree. Yeah.
So, and I think that's a pretty cool picture.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
You know, this is my shack for a couple of hours. And here, between that tree and here, is actually the footpath from the parking lot where the
Oh,
car
you
was
must have had a
parked.
lot of people coming through there.
So you have, yeah, and unfortunately, I've got a ham radio sticker on my battery, so I have it pointing that way. So that kind of eliminates 50% of the tire kickers, because they look at it and they say, "Oh yeah, ham radio." Yeah, does that still exist? People still do that, but you still get people come and talk to you, and
Yeah.
you know. So here on this bench, after I've been operating for about an hour, and I was trying to be as quiet as possible, I forgot my headphones. That's why the speaker's there, and I didn't want to make too much noise or whatever on this particular day. And a few old ladies will always come down to the beach and bring their lunch in hamper baskets, and you open they were opening the basket. I should have taken pictures, and there's the plates and the cups and stuff all kind of tied in. It was really cool. I don't know how old they were. They must have been in their 80s, but they come every Wednesday, to come down, sit around. They go and waddle up to their knees into the water and then come back and have their lunch and whatever. And I was thinking, oh God, they're going to come and complain, but they didn't.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But that's
So,
good. That's good.
Yeah, this was pretty cool. I think that's a good. As you can see, this is 10:15 in the morning.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm going early.
No, that's like
if I had a day off, then I would not be out doing this at 10:15. I can tell you that.
Well, we don't have days off anymore. Every day is Saturday.
Yeah, I guess when you're tired.
When you're retired, every day is Saturday. So,
Yeah, there you go.
it's just another Saturday. I don't go. I go to Corsham on a Sunday morning because they have a farmer's market there. And there's a guy that sells like homemade bread, artisan bread, and he makes breakfast sandwiches. So I take Kathleen and we go. But that's the only time I do POTA, except for the special weekends, at weekends, because, this place is completely different on a Saturday and a Sunday. There's no way you could get a bench. There's no way there'll be 3 or 4 benches empty around you. And it's like you have to drive round to find a space to park.
Oh yeah.
Completely different world.
I think we tried to go to that beach one time, and like you said, the parking was.
Yeah, because it's sand. It's one of the few beaches around that is sand, not like broken shells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because most of the beaches around Fort Myers Beach, and that is all shells. This and Lover's Key are about the only 2 that are really sandy. So it's good fun. I mean, it's can be a struggle at sometimes, but how many contacts I got quite a few contacts that day. But the park to parks are really exciting. I worked as I say, I don't run 100 watts because the actual radio gets quite hot. It's I'm seriously thinking of maybe taking my Kenwood FT590 SG with me, because it's a much bigger radio and I can get to all the controls for
You got a 590 SG, I got one here.
Yeah, I got one. Well, Andy's got it at the moment in the club. He's repairing it because it's got a pair of MOSFETs for the output, and one of them decided to not talk properly, so he's replacing them for me. I can't remember his call sign. You know Andy, don't you? In the club. Repaired all sorts of stuff. KO4FEY.
Wow.
He's on the 820 every morning at 9 o'clock, the pharmaceutical net.
Yeah, I haven't been on that net too much lately.
Yeah, no, I don't get on it for a million reasons, but you know, he's in the club. He has the biggest booth at the Hamfest. He sells all sorts, you know, big linears and a lot of test equipment. Not sure you probably know him if you saw him, but he's got my 590 SG, and I'm seriously thinking of taking that. Although it's bigger, I can get to, you know, the width control and the controls for all the noise blanker and the noise filters and all the rest of it. With this one, it's all menus, and you've got to remember that what menu is what, and
Yeah.
you know, it's multiple layers of menus. It's just a little bit of a pain in the ass. I was thinking, but it's very small. But if you run 100 watts on it, it definitely gets warm.
And it'll also eat your battery a lot faster.
Well, I got one of those BINOs, 20 amp hour,
Yeah.
and I get home and it's still like 80%, and I've been running it for 4 hours. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I got a 20 amp hour bio.
anyway, there's my Poda. I think that is probably it's gonna be tough to beat that as a shack. Personally, stop sharing. Sorry to hold you all up there.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Maybe one day we'll do Hoda as a North Alabama deck team adventure kind of thing. We have parks that are up on mountains, so we could do a combination park on the air and summit on the air at the same time.
Well, you know, for your Hamfest,
Yeah.
on the Friday, all the YouTubers and a bunch of other people go to a huge.
And you froze up.
Froze up there. Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh, you froze up for all of that.
I froze up.
Yeah, right. As you said, they go up to a huge and then you stop.
They go up to a huge park, which is right by Huntsville.
Yeah, they probably go up to Montesano State Park.
That's where they go.
Yeah.
Montesano State Park. Huntsville, there you go. And they got there on the Friday before they and run Poda all day.
Yeah. Yeah, they do that.
So you're missing out. But yeah, we could. I mean, there's a what do they call it? There's a night shift or something. Late shift. We could actually try to do Poda live from a park near you to a park near me. How about that?
That would be pretty cool.
One night.
That might be really cool.
And now I've got, and actually what's funny is Wiggins Pass has got quite good cell phone coverage, and so has Corsham. And I've got a yearly pass for the park, so I can get in 24/7. So, you know, like the parks are normally open daylight to, daylight, dusk to dawn. But if you join the Florida State Parks organization or whatever, you can get in anywhere for free for 13 months, not 12 months, for free, and it's $120. And basically I go to a park 2-3 times a week, so it's a no-brainer for me. But it means you can go in, and Corsham is actually a campsite as well, so it's open 24/7 as far as no gates across the road. So we could do a late shift. Have to be in the winter though, because those damn mosquitoes, the damn things have got freaking hobnails on it this time of year.
Oh gosh.
You know? Yeah. They're wicked this time of year. For me, this is about the worst time. September for the heat, September for the mosquitoes, September for the no-see-ums, and I guess the humidity, the hurricanes. September, I think, is the worst month down here, personally. You've been here a lot longer than me, Rick. What do you reckon?
I don't know. I think August is pretty awful because it's so hot. But I like it. If I was to go down there, I'd probably want to go in October, maybe November, when the weather's cooler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, for
September.
me personally, I think September's the worst, but August isn't far behind.
Yeah,
But personally,
August is bad because of the thunderstorms. You want to go down there and operate, and you're going to have to really watch the weather closely. July and
Yeah.
August are bad for pop-up
For sure.
thunderstorms.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I got that lightning map. It's called real-time lightning map. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it is pretty impressive.
Is it lightningmaps.org? Is that the same thing?
Lightning map.
Yeah, lightningmaps.org.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. What I like is when you see, like, I don't know if you're looking at it now, but you've got the rings, and those rings are actually the thunder.
Mhm.
And they actually work. I can sit here, see the lightning, and then feel the thunder or hear the thunder, like 5,
the
6
ring
seconds
passes
later. It's
over.
just the same place as where the ring is.
You can tell where it's coming from.
Yeah. It might not be that one, but it's but there's some storms out there at the moment. Look at that. I'm saying look at that, and I'm not sharing. What an idiot. So we have got one storm down at Pelican Marsh. Other than that, how can I share a screen? There we go. Can you guys see that? No. Yes, there you
Yes,
go.
there we go.
Yeah, so there's one storm here, but if I zoom out a little bit and go that way a little bit, look at that. And you see these rings that are forming?
Yeah.
Those rings are actually the thunder.
Yeah.
So if you zoom right in, unfortunately, we haven't got any close to us here, but if you zoom right in on it, they go slower, obviously, because they're covering more ground. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, we got firing. We got a siren acting away behind me. So this is the lightning strike.
Yeah.
And this is the thunder working its way out.
Yeah.
Now, when I watched this back in August, when we were getting, so actually this is running at like 750 miles per hour. So that's about the limit from that one. There you go. So that's a lightning strike. There's a couple of lightning strikes there. I don't know how they record them live and get them where they are. I don't know how the technology works.
Not sure how it works either.
I mean, is it satellite? Is it?
No, it's I believe they have
Some type of receiver.
it's a directional receiver, and then they just triangulate.
So is it audio or is it radio or what?
It's radio done based off the energy burst. I mean, there's a certain frequency where like lightnings release the most energy, way down in the VLF area, and I think these stations just pretty much triangulated, as far as I know.
But that's right out in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, maybe they're buoys. I don't know. Then it could be satellite.
This is. I mean, if I zoom back.
Oh yeah, these receivers can hear for hundreds of miles.
Yeah, I wonder what they were. Yeah, I guess I don't know.
You triangulate. So I have two different ones.
But all this is the outer banks of the Caribbean. This is.
That's Andrew.
No, that's not.
Hold
Florida.
on. Those dots, those yellow dots are lightning bolts. The lines are the stations that are hearing them. So
okay.
you trace one of those lines back, and you'll find something on land, most likely.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because here's, the Florida Keys. This
Yeah.
is Cuba. This is,
Bahamas.
yeah, rough. Well, yeah, the Bahamas. Yeah, rough. That's the Bahamas. I don't know. This is, Nassau. Yeah, that's the Bahamas. So most of this is, right out in the ocean. But they say, okay, so this is the receivers. There's an awful lot of them. I didn't realize there were that many. Anyway, it's pretty
Here
cool.
for hundreds of miles.
Thousands.
Oh, yeah.
Because look, there's a lot coming down, and where are they coming from? There's nothing up there.
Maybe up in New York for all.
Yeah. That's why I said nothing. Oh, I guess, yeah. But these are going across to Europe. Anyway.
Lightning DX.
Yeah.
All that stuff out there off of Jacksonville.
So there's a storm popped up over here that wasn't there a little while ago. And this one down here is kind of cutting down a little bit. So I wonder, but you don't get many thunderstorms and lightning with the hurricane, do you?
Not usually.
So the hurricane is sitting, there's
Yeah.
Jamaica. I guess that's it there.
No, it might not be the hurricane, the storm itself.
Well, here's the ABC.
Yeah, way down there.
So the hurricane is in here somewhere, because this is Jamaica. So the hurricane's kind of here-ish, I guess. Yeah, this has got to be the hurricane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's Caymans. Yeah, so there is some, lightning going on inside of it. Yeah, you don't get much lightning. You don't get we get very little thunder, do you, with a hurricane?
Mhm.
So actually, this is quite a good way of kind of spotting it, isn't it? So it's going to go over that part, which
Yeah.
is the mountain area. I've got a feeling these mountains are going to kick it this way a little bit. That might be wishful thinking on my part, but no, there's a storm popped up here now. Yeah, definitely. Look at that. Popped up out of the. Okay. All I got to do is stop sharing. Oh, I'm
well,
good to go. So
yeah, I am good too. So anyway, maybe
Yeah.
Friday night and all that good stuff, hopefully, or maybe
Oh.
Tuesday night.
yeah, maybe Tuesday. If I think Tuesday would be quite cool, because I've got a feeling we'll be just about getting the win, so we can actually report on what's going on
What's going on?
personally.
Yep.
And we can have a look at some of the real-time crap that's going on. I'll tell you, Ian's newsletters, I send them to my street rep here. She sends them to the development manager, who sends them to everybody in the development. And we got 1,600 homes here.
Wow.
So several people have commented on them because they're on my my email address is at the top there, and they're so that's kind of cool, because there's a lot of information. There's 12 pages. The guy really works hard on it.
Yeah, he works a lot on that stuff.
Yeah.
We're making no money from it.
Yeah. So, all right.
All
I'll
right.
wish you all good night, and we'll
All right.
hopefully see you all Tuesday. If we don't, be safe.
All right.
All right. See you
All
later.
right.
Okay.
See you guys later.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
73.
I don't care. You can do it. to do this.
Hey,